Hello and welcome back to the Finish Line and a special edition of Talking Points, where we're going to review the week of the 2021 Cheltenham Festival, where we had history makers and record breakers. Lads, how did we find the Cheltenham Festival? Before we get into it all, synopsis in one word, Dave.
Henry the Bromhead.
That's three.
Two words.
That's three words.
Can't hear Dave very well there.
Henry the Bromhead.
That's 3 words, yeah.
That is 3 words.
Class is how I describe it now.
Keep talking while I turn up his microphone.
Yeah, it was weird. It was very strange not having crowds. And
I'm back. Oh, nearly.
I think that would have been good now if you'd have gone.
I could live podcast.
It was very strange not having.
Was there overreached?
Strange not having crowds, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was and it wasn't. I don't think it took away from the whole spectacle, but you did notice that they weren't there. You did notice the whole going down the chute after the races. There's no big mental people.
Yeah, there was no roar as they were coming up to the line or anything like that. It was very strange to watch it now. But
yeah, you could just imagine if Appreciated or Honeysuckle jumping the last of the roar that would have been let out.
Yeah. No, it was brilliant from a racing perspective. But yeah, they're very strange stuff.
But by God, we gave him some whooping.
I'm wearing my Irish jersey today. I'm putting the Irish jumper on. And yeah, it was fantastic, wasn't it?
And we done a podcast for Gary Sivs, and people laughed at me when I said we'll get around 22 or 23 winners.
I don't get the Pressbury Cup thing. I don't really care what horse I back from what country.
That's what I said.
To be honest.
It's just
honestly, though, I don't like that. Might sound bad, but like, it's not that I'm not patriotic. Like, I obviously want Ireland to win the rugby and all that. But if you like a horse,
I like the way each on the rugby in as well.
If you like the horse, if you like a horse, you like the horse. I don't really think you care what country it comes from. To be quite honest. And I think the English are more into this Pressbury Cup thing because they're getting whopped every year. But sure, that's fair enough.
Yeah,
I think it got launched back in the day where it was actually competitive and it was a good contest.
It used to be 1917 or something like that one. That's probably wrong.
There was a bookie said today on Racing TV they're going to have to put a handicap on it extra because it's gone out of hand.
I was only thinking of when I was writing down stuff today. You look at Nicky Henderson, 1 winner, two winners. Dickie Johnson, not in an arse's roar of a finish. Brian Hughes, champion jockey, didn't even go to the festival.
She was better off. He was up there in Selchfield.
Is this like I've said it a lot for the last 2 years that Irish racing is a hell of a lot more competitive, and they're all ready for it with all the festivals over there. And English racing has gone so far behind. There are too many meetings. There's too many chances for the top horses to avoid each other. They're not ready for a battle. They're having it easy. Where the Irish horses have Christmas, Dublin Race Festival, the 2 main ones, where they're all.
Do you know what I think some of it is, lads? Is we keep the best. A lot of the best national hunt horses come up through the grassroots in Ireland. They're either bred in Ireland, or they're reared in Ireland, or they've run in point of points in Ireland. And we've got so many big owners now that in the past, all those horses just used to be sold to the UK. We've got so many big owners and so many fantastic trainers in this country now. The horses are actually just kept here. And I just think that's the big difference. But look, at the end of the day, as Dave said, it doesn't really matter where they're from. They're fantastic horses. And, I cheer them on, kind of whoever trains them to some extent.
And there has to, I agree with you there, Tom, that they're probably staying in Ireland, but you also have to train them and you also have to get the best jockeys on them. And the best trainers at the moment and the best jockeys are Irish. There's just no question of it.
Even if you look at the point-to-point trainers who are bringing up these horses, we've Pat Doyle, we've Colin Bowe, probably 2 of the best point-to-point trainers you'll ever see. And
go on.
it's like a very, very good schooling stage for them before they go to the big stage.
Mm.
Yeah, it's like grassroots stuff. Happens in counties over here in hurling, and happens in countries with football and all that. Like when you know there's something wrong, you have to go about changing it. And the English need to change what they're doing if they want to change those statistics in the coming years.
I wish the FAI would take notice as well. Soccer over here is chronic. Yeah, but look, that even the 23 winners from Ireland were broken up into 10 different trainers. So there was Henry, Willie, Denise Foster, Gavin Cromwell, Paul Hennessy, Paul Nolan, Noam Mead, Ian Ferguson, Emmett Mullins, and Peter Fahey, should I say. So it's not like the whole 2 or 3 trainers are taking over everything. It's starting to be spread out. Like, I think the fact that Willie Mullins set a bar so high in the last few years, the rest of them had no choice but to up their game and get their facilities to where Willie's nearly is, get the ammunition in, just up their game big time. And I think he's after dragging the whole of Irish racing with him.
I look, it's just way more competitive. That shambles of a race at Kempton yesterday shows you exactly what's going on in England. A one-horse race around Kempton. And it's happening all year with like novice chases. Me and Tom talked about it before. The lack of entries for novice chases over in England, even at Cheltenham, in some of the earlier meetings at Cheltenham, unless the Irish horses go over there, there's no real competitiveness to it. So I don't know. They have a good horse. They have a good horse in Shishkin for a good few years, but they'd want to get a few more.
Yeah, Andrew hinted on it there with I think it's, I can't remember. I think it could have been like 20 different owners or something, or maybe not that many, but there's an insane amount of different owners, different trainers, different jockeys rode these winners. Like, it's a fantastic spread. And as you say, going down to like the point to points, I was in a point to point yard looking at a horse today, and the facilities are ridiculous, lads. Like, you think point to points are an amateur sport? They're certainly not. The facilities in these places are fantastic. So, yeah, it just shows that. And I think Kevin Blake hit the nail on the head. Like, Irish horsemanship, the Irish are known across the world for their horsemanship. And you know, there's a reason why we're the world leaders in some things, and especially horses. And yeah, the horsemanship in this country, the standard of it is insane.
So what were you doing in the point to point yard today, Thomas?
That teed me up nicely.
Something hiding away in the background.
Hopefully the next Pimlico horse is on the way, and there's only one man we can send the next Pimlico horse to right now, and that is Henry de Bromhead.
Every Pimlico horse.
So yeah, there's a horse getting vetted tomorrow. We'll hopefully passes the vet. We'll launch him properly hopefully on Wednesday's show. But if you're interested, I think there's already 25% gone of people registered their interest. So Andrew will put my name in the my name and my contact details for Pimlico in the comments and in the description. Sorry, and
they're always in the description of every single video. So feel free to get in touch and give me a shout, and I can let you know what the details are. But look, touch wood, he's getting vetted tomorrow. But this lad is a proper national hunt horse. He's a proper chaser in the making. He's a really big lad, and he's a frame to fill into. And yeah, if you're looking to get involved in a proper national hunt chaser, this lad's your man. So, and can we have a word about the flag bearer, the Zoff? The Zoff. I'm knackered today, lads. I could barely sleep last night. There were a couple of bottles of champagne sank here yesterday. The Zoff went and bolted up at Otoy. 4 lengths and 100 grand handicap, 45 grand to the winner. I still can't believe. No wonder he was in a point to point yard this morning. Yeah, yeah. No wonder we're kicking on. But yeah, Zoffany Bay. Fair play to David Cotton as well over in France. He's done a fantastic job with him, and yeah, just delighted. Like, winning 100 grand handicap, it's stuff of dreams, really. So we're proud of you. Well done. Dreams can happen, lads. Onwards and upwards. That was a listed handicap hurdle. So graded races now. We tick the listed one off. We need a graded horse next. No pressure. Group 1. great Group 1. Jesus Christ, flat season. Oh my God.
No, I doubt we're going to. If we get a Group 1 horse, it'll be sold well before it hits a Group 1 standard. I'll tell you that much.
Note to self, we are not allowed to mention the flat tonight. Right, before we go on, Punters Challenge. Well done to everyone who played and won. We had over 300, I think, nearly every day. So it's a big jump since we came on board. So well done to all the winners. And I just want to say thanks to all the lads who, for our Cheltenham Festival anti-post videos, who came on, like Samantha, Martin, The Witch, ABW for filling in when Dave was out, Sam and Jack from Next Generation for coming on our preview, and the man, the myth, the legend, that is Gavin Lynch. Thank you, sir. It's all over till October. Can't believe it.
Yeah, we still have Adrian.
We have to talk about flat yaks really soon.
Adrian Punchestown.
It's true. Look, people texting Tom already. Can I have a share in this thing?
There actually is.
It'll work wonders, Sam. I need to get commission off this.
Oh, there actually is. Yeah. Thanks, Scott. I'll get back to you after this, but yeah, thanks very much.
Right, we get straight into it. So we're going to go through every race, some in detail. The handicaps we won't spend too much time on, but we will start with the curtain raiser, the Supreme Novice Hurdle, where we're seeing Appreciated absolutely bolt up with Ballymore back in second, and for Pleasure, who Dave actually said will finish in the top 3 because he'll go such a mad pace, the rest will be trying to catch up with him, and he'll be there to finish. Lads, Appreciated, he bolted up by 26 lengths. Amazing.
Yeah, it was miles, much the best. There was no reason for anybody to be worrying.
No, he even on the day when he was lining up for the start, you could even see he stands head and shoulders above the rest of them. Even as a specimen alone, it's just amazing. Tom, what do you think of him?
Very impressive.
Yeah, the race kind of fell apart, didn't it? There was a bunch there, like Metier couldn't go with him, a lot of those, and kind of as we predicted, really. Did I think he'd win by that far? No. I thought he'd win. I thought he went off ridiculously short. He was absolutely fantastic. And I think he's kind of a bit like Allaho that we'll obviously get to. There you go, Andrew. Nice to mention for you. But he just goes that really good gallop and he can maintain it, you know. And he looks like a 3 mile chaser. He looks like a Gold Cup horse. And there's nothing saying he couldn't be if he steps up and trip. But I don't think I'd be in a rush to step him up and trip. I'd go chasing with him next year. And I wouldn't be in a rush to step him up and trip until he got beaten, to be honest.
Arkle.
I think you'd start off that route. Yeah, I think you'd start off aiming that way. And if he proved if he was lacking a gear, which, Jesus, he doesn't look like he is at the minute, then you might step him up and trip. But I think the biggest danger to him winning the Arkle next year is a horse that didn't even run at the Cheltenham Festival. It's a horse that we only saw once this year is Fairly Hollow. I think he's by far and away the biggest danger to him as long as he stays sound. But Appreciated.
Just on Fairly Hollow. Do you not think they'll be aiming champion with him? Given the
so hard. Their problem now, I would go chasing for this reason. Their problem is he's not a novice anymore. He's literally had one run over hurdles, and now he's not a novice. That is a disaster as far as training a horse can go. It's exactly what you aim not to do. So I think they will go chasing just to keep him in novice company. Look, unless he's showing them something completely different at home, you wouldn't know. But if it was mine, I would go chasing anyway, because you've a whole season of a novice chasing her.
I'd send him for the Arkle as well.
Would you?
Yeah, would you? Send him for the Arkle and step up, Appreciated up to the marsh.
I'd let the two of them rock now and see what happens and go from there.
I would avoid the marsh with anyone walking God's green earth, because this big, beautiful Bob is going to just bolt up in a freak.
Yeah. But just on Ballymore, sorry, I thought he ran all right. He made a terrible mistake, obviously. His jumping is what's going to let him down. Blue Lord was running the cracker, and, you know, I think he was definitely booked for second. But yeah, Ballyadam's jumping just needs to brush up a bit.
He might respect the fence if they put him over it.
Yeah, you'd hope something's going to change anyway, because he's just making too many mistakes at the minute.
Right. We'll move on to the English hope for the next 3 years. It's true. Shishkin won at 4-9 on, absolutely bolted up with Eldorado Allen back in second and Captain Guinness back in third. Myself and Dave were watching this together, and the second Captain Guinness and that absolute fridge of all mankind went off together. I just said, this is Petty Mouchoir and St. Cavillus all over again.
It was like watching the year that football won the Arkle. Look, he was much the best horse, but the race lost. To me, it lost its appeal when Energum Mene didn't run. Who knows what would have happened? But Shishkin was very good.
You agree, Tom? He was as Dave said, the gloss was really taken off when Energum Mene didn't turn up. But you expected him to do this, even with him gone. It's like his opposition wasn't up to much, really.
No, it wasn't. It's such a shame we didn't see Energum Mene here. I think it would have been a good race. I don't know if he'd have beaten Shishkin though. Bloody hell, he was good.
I don't think he would have either.
It's so hard to know, but he would have had to have been at the top of his game to beat Shishkin. The time was very good when you compare it to the Champion Chase as well. Now I know they went off an absolute million in this and just cut each other's throats. But no, he looks. As I said, I was a fan of him. I was a fan of him and a fan of Energum Mene before, and I still am very much a fan of Shishkin. I think he's got a great chance in next year's Champion Chase. We'll get onto that, onto this year's renewal. But I think if you stuck him in that next year, I think he's going to have a very good chance.
Doesn't he just win next year's one?
What's that?
Doesn't he just win next year's one? You think he's that far ahead of... Look, put the kettle on. We'll get to her in a minute.
I'm not taking on that mare at Cheltenham again. Never. I thought Shackham Pasquale was a certainty. And I thought that I thought she'd finish second to him. I backed her in the place market. I backed her in the betting without Shackham market. And yeah, I'm never taking her on. If Shishkin runs in his favour, I'll back her without Shishkin. But Eldorado Allen finishing. This is, and I know a lot of people laughed at me with embittered at 80-1. That's exactly why I'd have run embittered in the Arkle. He's a horse who doesn't win too often, and I think he would have been placed, I reckon, given a ride similar to Eldorado Allen. There we go.
Yeah, he was given the best ride to finish in his best possible position, and that was his best possible position. Right, on to the ultimate. And Dave came up with a masterstroke about 5 minutes before this came off. Andrew, back Finch's clouds, quick. Take it away.
Cheers, Dave.
Sorry, John. It's just... He had Cheltenham form. He's been in the race. That was his 5th time in the race. He was second, third.
Second, third, pulled up,
5th. And he was back to his last winning mark. And Sue Smith has had an absolute dire season for whatever reason, but she's had a couple of winners in the last month or so. So fair play to her.
You only joined this, Tom?
I was on a second. I thought he was going to absolutely bolt up for pretty much all of the race, apart from when we landed after the last, and he looked beat then. Yeah, look, to be honest, I think, last year we had Simply the Bets. We had Imperial Aura, who I was taking those types of horses to go on and improve. I don't know if we've got a horse in this that's going to go on and improve to like that. I think it's solid Cheltenham Festival handicap form, but I think that's all it is handicap form.
Yeah, I totally agree, and I'm going to add to that now. So we'll move on to the Queen, My Honey. The only woman I'd probably kick out for Kate, Honeysuckle.
Oh God! I had a few texts.
Oh, she's not watching. Absolutely bolted up. The race panned out how I thought it would. It bar Shishkin trying to go off for a KFC halfway. Who did I say? Shishkin. Goshen going off for a KFC halfway through. So much pace. She tracked her. She was in 6th going around the first circle. She got herself closer. She came down the hill, took it up coming to the last, and went off and bolted up. And Sharjah ran another mighty race around Cheltenham, finishing second at 11s, and Epitaunt, I think, got one of the worst rides of the week off Aidan Coleman.
Start with Epitaunt now. I don't think she helped him, to be honest. I don't think she was going with the zest that she normally goes with. I don't think she helped him at all. But Honeysuckle, Andrew, I said to you, I've always liked her, but before Leopardstown, I never thought I'd see her do what she did at Leopardstown, and she's just improved this season. It's insane. Like she's just taken her form to a different level. She's now traveling on the bridle. She is jumping so much better. So much better. It's insane. And, it might be a thing that the faster you go sometimes on these horses, the better they jump. I remember Size in Europe was a bit like that. You had to go pretty fast on to get them to jump hurdles quite well. And she's come back down to 2 miles and they're going a faster pace. And she's jumping so much better. And she was electric.
If we even go back to last year, there's no secret. I think she's one of the best horses we're going to ever see. I think even last year, even in the mares, I still thought she was green as grass. When she hit the front, she wasn't doing a tap. And her jumping, even when she flung herself at the last at Cheltenham last year, this year she just looks unbeatable. I
she
think
looks like there's a switch tripped in her head that, okay, it's like she's been green all the way up to now, and now she knows what she needs to do. And the other horse who was like that earlier in the season was Bob Ollinger. And as he's still green. He is we'll go on to, he's frightening. But it's like with her, a switch has tripped in her head, and she is now turned on. She knows her job, and she's just savage. I don't know how anything is going to give her £7. No, I hope in my book anyway.
No, I'll throw something out to 2 of you. People are going to think this is madness. Do they go chasing with her? Have a novice season? Go for the Gold Cup then the year after?
Nah, I can't see it. I'd say they'll try and win like 2 or 3 champion hurdles.
But the word coming from Kenny Alexander, it's not beyond the realms of impossibility that they want to do it.
There's too many good horses in the stable now that are going to go for Gold Cups as well anyway.
So I tell you, I'll put it this way, right? We own a bit of Zoffany Bay and whatever, and there was talk of him going chasing, and I'm petrified. We've got the other mare, Alice Averill. If she ever goes chasing, I'd be petrified. And they are a million miles from the ability of Honeysuckle. Lads, keep her hurdling, try and win the next 2 champion hurdles, retire her, have babies. That Kenny Alexander wants to breed from these mares, and there's no way I'd ever risk her over a fence. I'm not saying they won't, but that's
it doesn't make me think. I do think she'd make a good chaser and probably have a chance in the Gold Cup in 2 years' time. But
would it not
too valuable?
Would it not tempt you? Would it not tempt you to go for history? Go and run the only horse ever to do it.
She's too valuable.
Be the first mare to win 3 champion hurdles.
Yeah, that's what I do. And then there's the Gold Cup.
No.
Yeah, no. She's too valuable.
It's
just, I don't know, because I'd be sitting there chasing.
And whoa, now we are not leaving this race without Dave getting. Dave, you got that t-shirt?
Yeah. There's a lot of people asking, where's the t-shirt?
So
I started laughing halfway through. I couldn't believe it. Goshen decided.
I knew he wasn't going to do well from before the start. When he went up where Luke Harvey is at the hurdle that they look over, he was sweating everywhere like it was like in the middle of the flat season. I said to Andrew, he's lost the plot already. So
he decided to go off to Birmingham, get himself a little cappuccino, get back into the race, drank the cappuccino and said, nah, I don't fancy this, lads.
Somehow he didn't even come last.
I know, that's a mad thing. I think he ran it for a 2 mile champion hurdle. I think he thought he was running the stairs. He ran 3 miles.
Yeah, it was all along. It was going to be shit or bust either way. Like, and you knew your fate from about 4 furlongs, so it was all the one really.
That's the thing I was saying to you guys. Like the horse, there's no doubt in that horse's ability. He's riddled with talent. He's just a head case.
I don't know what you do with him, to be honest, because if he's going to be doing that all the time, then it's just not going to be.
Could you imagine him over a fence?
God.
Very strange.
This is the thing, though. Gary Moore came out straight away afterwards, pretty much, and said, like, I think that's the last we'll see of Goshen at Cheltenham. He doesn't like. He's run 2 bad races there. He doesn't like it. I'd actually flip that on its head. The best race that horse has ever ran was at Cheltenham.
Yeah.
I don't understand that. The horse is a Fruit Loop. He could, in my book, he could do that. He could do that anywhere. But I wouldn't give up on Cheltenham with him. God, you'd hate to train him because what do you do with him? Like, and you just feel. I can see what Gary thinks. Gary's probably there going, "What do I do with this stat now? I'm just going to look stupid. If that horse keeps running and he keeps running like that, I just look ridiculous."
But, I mean, if they can focus him, he'll win. He'll win decent races. I could see him winning the Christmas Hurdle or something like that, going right-handed. But I just don't know what to do with him anymore.
Do you put headgear on him?
Nah, I don't even think that's going to work, to be honest.
He's keen, though. That's the problem. Like, put a hood on him. I put a hood on him.
A hood or even cheap pieces to keep him concentrating going forward.
A friend of mine, I think he's the first person ever to run a horse in a hood and cheek pieces, and the horse won. So
that might work.
Yeah, I'd nearly try it with him,
calms him down and keeps him going straight.
I felt bad for the jockey and the owner after last year, but look, you can't. There's nothing you can do when the horse does that. Honeysuckle was unreal, and it was the start of Rachel Blackmore looking like the best jockey at Cheltenham since Ruby Walsh. The way she dictates the pace, the way she can kick off the pace, the way she sets her own pace, the way she can also come from the back when the pace is too strong. 3 times, and even last year, she stole the race from Benny. Now, obviously, Honeysuckle's turned. Honeysuckle's turned.
We are not having this shite now. Be it if she went wide, if Benny went up that gap, she was still beating her. That's put to bed right now.
Oh, we're not going all the way back to next year's champion or bloody Cheltenham Festival. We'll leave that down to ITV. We'll keep going forward.
We're not going through a COVID shite like that.
2 or 3 races she kicked off the bend and the race was over then before anything even had a chance. They didn't even know it was done, to be honest. She's just unbelievable all week.
She rode the boots off people last week, lads. And she rode the boots off them that much. It was obvious. And I'd say it was obvious that if you were just tuning in and watching a race and you knew nothing about horse racing and you watched the maneuvers, it was like watching someone overtaking an F1 or something.
She done it twice to Paul Townend as well.
Oh, she rode the boots off people. It was insane, that. It was
3 times now to Paul Townend.
She done it to him on Bob Ollinger, and she done it to him on Plutarch in the Gold Cup.
She done the Champion Hurdle as well.
And the Champion Hurdle.
Hurdle,
And the Champion Bumper. She stole that as well, but we'll get on to that one. She's unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable.
And they can't claim her to be English. ITV are second. Moving on to the Mayor's Hurdle, and the boys put up good old Black Tears. She won at 11-1. Concertista was second at 10-11 on, and Yaxana was third at 3-1. Tom, take it away. You yourself and Dave fancy Black Tears the whole way leading up to this?
Yeah, very much a joint effort now between me and Dave, because I texted into the 3 of our WhatsApp group and said, I think I've got one for the Mayor's Hurdle, and Dave said, yeah, I literally backed it like 2 days ago or something. Now, look, Hands Up was trying to rob the each way money. She was 33s and 25s, and I just thought that was a cracking each way bet. Did not think she'd beat Concertista at all. Jack Kennedy gave this one a smashing ride as well, just to get up and do her on the line. And she's very good. Her Cheltenham form is really good. She's 7. She may come back here next year. She may get covered. Who knows? But yeah, there were a good few lets clear of Roxana. Other than that, not too much to write home about. Dame de Compagnon didn't run her race at all. And I thought that the front 2 were very good. Roxana looks like she wants further, but my thing with Roxana is if Roxana gets into a battle, she does not want to know. The races she wins, you'll even see Harry Skelton on her. He wants to kick her on in a burst of speed to get her 3 or 4 lengths in front, like in one motion. Because if you
I think he wants to do that in every horse, Tom.
No, we'll get to those ones.
He's but with
with her, she needs to like, when you ask her her effort, she needs to get 3 or 4 lengths in front, and she'll keep going. And if she gets into a battle, she doesn't want to know in my book. So.
Concertista jumping Costa.
They were two good mares, 2 good Irish mares.
Now you sound like a politician.
I said it was just an unbelievable training performance because Black Tears prime for the day. I'm not saying by who.
Well done, Denise. Cracking training performance, Denise.
If you go back through the winter form, I'd say Black Tears probably about £12 to find, but it was there if you look back on our Cheltenham form and so on and so forth. But prime for the day and a really, really good ride from another jockey that excelled himself this week in Jack Kennedy. And yes, there was a few that did not excel themselves and may have thought they were on 5 furlong flat horses and not jumps horses.
I would say I've never seen anything like that ride on Shanblue, but I saw it the week before. I saw it the Saturday before on DBC, and I nearly got sick.
So we've seen it the Friday on Third Time Lucky as well.
He done it today as well on that mental patient. What's his name? He beat Regal Encore at Ascot last day.
Oh, Captain Chaos.
Captain Chaos. He went off like the clappers on him again today.
Yeah.
But anyway, 2 very good mares might meet a Punchestown, I'd say, will they?
Yeah, I'd say so,
yeah. And this is just a point on, and this might sound mental, saying that the champion trainer at Cheltenham, some of his horses ran a bit below form. And that sounds crazy to say. It just shows you with the strength and depth he's got. But there were a few of them over the week who didn't quite run to form. And I think Concertista was one of them. She didn't quite... To her form, she should be beating Black Tears. So
there was a few that didn't show everything.
Show their full...
And look, he had 6 winners, and we're still thinking he had a very bad week. Like
he said it himself.
He said it himself. Yeah, he said, like, I'm a bit subdued, like, you know. Yeah, it was champion trainer and 6 winners, but there was some there who didn't perform to what he thinks they can do anyway.
Right, we'll move on again. Where it is. We will go on to the Boodles. And Noel Mead popped up with an absolute belter at Jeff Kidder 81. St. Sam was in at 92. Ellen Valley 66 and Hookery filled the 4th spot at 11-2. I don't want to talk about this because I have no interest in it whatsoever. Who wants to talk about it?
Terrible race. That's all.
This is the reason I hate this race. It's just
shocking.
God only knows who's going to win it. You can't make heads nor tails of the form.
Bad form don't stand up to it.
I want a runner in this for Pimlico next year.
Do you know what it is? Because you'll have a chance.
A lottery, and if you run in this race, you've got a chance. It doesn't matter if you're 100 to 1. It doesn't matter if you're even money. If you run in this, you've got a chance. Like this horse is rated. Jeff Kidder in Ireland, he's rated 118, I think, and he's rated 67 on the flat. You know, and like his rating of 118 is after running like a lot over hurdles, and then to go and do this over there. Fair play. I just want to say another Irish rider there riding the winner this week, and his first festival winner, Sean Flanagan. I remember Sean riding out this couple of times. He was in Evan Williams's and in Tim Vaughan's, and this is going back 10 years ago. And you know, I think he was on the verge of pretty much jacking it in when he couldn't get a ride in England. And you know, he comes over, puts his head down, rides away, and then he gets the Noel Mead job. And talk about taking your opportunity when you're given one. He's absolutely grasped it with 2 hands, and you know, he's a really good rider, and fair play to him, and really good to see. It's a lot like Rachel as well. Like Rachel Blackmore's been riding a long time.
It's a 10-year overnight success.
Yeah, she hasn't just started. Like, she was riding as an amateur and couldn't get many rides. It's only because of Shark Hanlon she turned professional. And Jigginstown kind of latched onto it then with her claim. And again, she got an opportunity and she grabbed it with 2 hands. And look where it's taken her. There's so many good jockeys out there, and they need an opportunity, some of them. But fair play.
I can remember the day I actually took notice of her. It was when she had a ride for Henry. I was over in England. I can't remember what track, but she was riding Ornua. over there. It was around the summertime, and she gave this thing an absolute peach of a ride. So look, she's, as Tom says, she's taking every opportunity given to her, and she deserves every success she's getting. Right, on to the National Hunt Chase. The one who I couldn't see winning was Galvin, and he won with Next Destination back in second, and Ascaria 10 back in third. Another winner for Jack Kennedy that he gave an absolute peach of a ride. We were talking about this on the day. We thought if the amateurs were riding at this, we might have seen a different result because they went an absolute crawl.
Yeah, it suited the horse that had a bit of kick of pace at the end, and that was Galvin. There was 3 of them coming over the last fence and just kicked away, got 2 lengths, and that was it. Superb ride by Jack, just stalked the whole way around. But I'd say it would have been different with amateurs because they tend to go off wicked fast. We'll probably get to the Fox Hunters as well. I said that as well. I think I said it in the group between the 3 of us. I could see the result being different if it had to be an amateur riding the horses as well. They just ride the race in a different way.
They get a bit giddy.
The better amateurs, tend to stay out the back and leave the pace collapse. But really good ride from Jack, and fair play.
Do you think, Tom?
Yeah, he's one I actually got. I said it the week before. He was kind of drifting. Then he drifted then to a price where I wanted to be with him, and I put him up on the show because in my opinion anyway, the opposition just fell away in this race. All year I thought there would be at least 2 or 3 horses to go and beat Galvin in this. Latest Exhibition is the one I thought would run here and win here. But I thought, as you've said, guys, Jack gave this an absolute peach of a ride. He got him switched off, he got him settled, he got him to a rhythm, and he just stalked and stalked. And yeah, look, I did think there was a few rides in this where they would, if they'd have gone faster, they'd have helped their own chances. But to be honest, I think Galvin had been put up for a long time for this, and he was primed for it. And I'm not sure anything would have beaten him in that field anyway, to be honest.
Yeah, he won it very well. I backed Next Destination, and I think halfway through I said to you, they're not going fast enough on him at all. He's an out and out grinder.
He just stays and stays.
But look, on the day, as Tom said, I don't think if they even went at that bit faster, Galvin would have probably still won anyway. His jumping wasn't even that good. He made a few belting mistakes, and Jack still managed to get him up. But Ascaria 10 ran a solid race as well. I was surprised he went off favourite. But
not bad horse as well.
Yeah. Where Irish National with Galvin next?
Probably. No, hang on now. When is that? That's only a couple of weeks away, isn't it?
So Monday, 2 weeks. Tomorrow, 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's probably a bit soon.
Cocoa Beach.
No, Jesus Christ, no, not that joke.
I am getting well stuck into him, lads. He's my ruin the Irish National preview. He's my bet for the Irish National. I'm really keen on him. That would probably come a bit too soon for Galvin, but I think he might be that type of horse next year. Even he's still only a novice technically, I think, isn't he? So
second season novice.
Yeah, I'd say a race like that down the line, or maybe even an English National, if he settled a bit, if he learned to settle a bit better.
I could genuinely see him running this year. It's the bones of 3 weeks break after it. Just a day under 3 weeks.
Let me see. I don't think he's entered in it. He's not entered in it. No, he's not entering it.
Oh, that's not.
No, next year. I'd give him I'd give him another couple of runs, maybe Punchestown somewhere, and then a nice summer's break and bring him back with the Nationals in mind, something like that.
Right, we move on to Tuesday now, and the Ballymore Novice Hurdle. And the God-given certainty was Bob Ollinger done what he had to do, beating Galliard de Mesnil at 94 and Brave Man's Game back in third. Do we believe the hype? The hype is real. Everyone come on board. Come on board the Bob bandwagon. Lads, this thing is an absolute freak.
Aeroplane, isn't he?
Very good. Just hope he stays sound.
Yeah.
He's...
Well, Dave, you're turning into me, mate. You're getting really negative on stuff.
No, I just did. I just do hope he stays sound. He was unbelievable.
You're starting to talk sense about things. I mean, I don't know what's going on there.
This was another race where Rachel Blackmore made a show of everybody else. And no doubt Bob would have still won, but it wouldn't have been as wide a distance because she absolutely made a show of Paul Townend on the bend. Came up outside Brave Man's Game. There was a gap on the rail. Gaillard was still on the bridle, tried to go up it. She closed it by just nudging Brave Man's Game over, which was just good race riding. There was nothing wrong with it. He then had to stop, come back, switch all the way around, and at that stage, Bob was 4 lengths ahead and gone. That was the end of that. Brilliant ride from Rachel Blackmore.
There was never a moment's worry for me in this. I hand on heart.
I don't know how you can say that because I know a few people that backed him, and I think it was the fourth last. She had to pull him back in behind horses because he got a little bit lit up and free. And majority of people are thinking, oh, there's an issue here, but
I wasn't one of them. Hand on heart, I was sitting there and it was the calmest I was all week. Everywhere he went, I was like, yeah, he grand. Made a mistake, back on the bridle. This thing is going to win. I think a hell of a lot of this horse, and I've been harping on about him ever since he won his bumper. The world is his oyster. Wherever he goes, he has a speed to drop down to 2 miles. He has a stamina to step up. He has everything you want in a jump horse. He's everything.
And the build of him, lads, the frame of him, he's going to be better with a bit of time, and he's going to be better over a fence even. Frightening what this lad could do. I think he's an excellent horse. He was like 7.5 lengths. Like he absolutely bolted up.
I don't even think she hit with the whip. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't
down the shoulder, I think, was all. But
yeah, but not like she didn't give him a crack.
Yeah, no. And the one other thing I'll say on it is, how good is Fernie Hollow?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Wherever he goes, like it's even more covering Champion and Arkle.
Yeah, I think Bob is going to be an excellent chaser, and it's just one of these. We were going through the horses. I was talking to a couple of guys who are involved in the syndicates, and all week, like Honeysuckle won, and the lads were saying, "Oh my God, Tom, I can't wait to go to the yard and see Honeysuckle." And we were like, "Yeah," and like so many more horses. Then Bob won. It was like, "Can't wait to go see the yard and see Bob." And then someone texted me and like, "And Envoy Allen." I was like, "Oh my God, and Envoy Allen's there as well." The horses Henry has is just insane. And I think Bob has a big reputation anyway, and I think he's liked a lot. And yeah, I think someone just said there RSA or Marsh for Bob. I think it definitely Marsh. I don't think they'd see a need to step him up to 3 miles yet at all. He's clearly got the speed to be. He probably can be competitive over 2. He's definitely got the speed for 2.5.
Correct me if I'm wrong now, but I was listening to Henry today on Look on Sunday, and at the start of the season, their aim was to Supreme with him. They think he's riddled with pace, and it was only before he got beat off Fernie Hollow. They said, right, we chance 2.5 mile. That's the only reason they went up.
Yeah, and when you look back at it, like I remember we had the conversation, Andrew, and like I was saying, like he was going left under pressure. And he was, and he went left under pressure against Fernie Hollow, and he actually went left the next day. Next, I think he was. You could see him rattling off the rail. And I was saying he's either a bit questionable or it's greenness, and I think we can definitely say it's greenness.
It's greenness grass.
Yeah, and he still is a bit. He's not the finished article at all, and he's gonna be fantastic. Just give a shout out to Brave Man's Game. Don't rule him off, lads. Denman was beating this. I'm not saying he's an ex-Denman at all, but I think he's definitely going to be a nicer staying 3 mile chaser than he is getting done for toe by Bob Ollinger in a Ballymore. So don't rule him off just yet.
Gaillard, what you make him? Step him up?
I don't know, to be honest.
I think he's just an out-and-out stayer. I'm convinced he's a stayer.
I don't know. I think he was beaten by a better horse, and
he needs to settle though.
Yeah, he's not a horse I have a strong opinion on, to be honest.
No, I'm not a fan, but I think a step up and trip, if he learns how to settle, I think he could damn well near go to the top. I think this form next year is going to look good.
Oh yeah, I think that is solid form. I think we thought going into the race these were the three, and they all ran that way. They ran kind of as expected, I think so.
Now, on to the Brown Advisory. I'll try that again. Brown Advisory Novice Chase, where the big, beautiful, chestnut-looking bastard gave me a mother and father of a heart attack at the last. He went off 1-4. He probably won like a 1-4 shot. Should have. Filler on the roof ran a blinder into second at 40s, and the big breakaway ran a good race at 12s. I said it to Dave straight after. I'd never seen a horse look, this is just me probably talking shite, but he looked bored to me. He looked like he wasn't concentrating at all. He was looking at everything bar the fences, the camera truck going around. The loose horse didn't do him any favours whatsoever. What do you make of it?
I thought him in the big breakaway after changing the silks, the way he acted. That's the way he ran. Like not jumping when Paul was asking him to jump and so on and so forth. But just shows you how good he is that he still won. And the mistake at the last year was a mistake. He hasn't really made one, but I would say it was the loose horse's fault. So that wouldn't be worrying me. I think the time of the last 4 furlongs or 5 furlongs was good in the end. So when he started racing, he was as good as he was. So probably didn't look the best, but he'd be my idea of the Gold Cup winner next year.
Yeah, I like the sound of that.
I actually think, people won't maybe go for this because he won, but I actually think he's one of Willie's that didn't quite perform to his best.
I agree.
As in, he's one that, everyone say, oh, sure, he won. Like, that was not Monkfish at his best, not by a long shot. Pure ability got him through that.
Would it be something to do with the old track? Being at that bit quicker, not as galloping as the new track that he won on last year?
I don't know, because he showed so much pace over 2 mile 5 at Leopardstown. I don't know. I just don't think he ran up to his level.
No.
Fiddler on the Roof then running through to, grab second, the big breakaway faded.
Fiddler on the Roof is
rear unseating was really unfortunate.
Fiddler on the Roof is going to win a national, a Welsh national on
I said about
soft ground. I'm at saying so many times he's a boat. If he jumps well, he just keeps staying on. He wants national 4 miles, a bit of soft ground, and he's going to win a big pot, definitely.
A little teaser for you as well. The yard I was in this morning looking at the horse for the Syndicate, the guy whose yard it was, they sold Sporting John. So another nice horse to have come through the grade there. He was a well beat when he fell in the end, but he's a grade 1 winner. He probably wants to come back down and trip, I think.
He made a mother and father of mistake going around that second circuit.
Yeah, that just knocked him out of it altogether. But odd race. Don't know what to do with the form. By
far the best horse won.
Yeah.
As you said, probably underperformed, which I totally agree with, because he made niggly mistakes. He wasn't concentrating at all. And we can say that now on the back of some of Willie's not running up to it. So I'd say there was a few of them under the weather or whatnot, but to me, he's still my idea of the Gold Cup winner next year.
Yep, same.
Someone
coming in to take Tom away.
Got someone at my front door. I have no idea who it is.
JP with the suitcase to try buy the
JP, I know. Oh, lads, it'd be some crack, wouldn't it? I'd be like, bye, horse.
Right, on to the Coral Cup. And another good story for Cheltenham. Heaven help us, trained by Paul Hennessy, who people might know is a top-class greyhound race trainer. He won 33-1, which probably wasn't a shock in hindsight after he'd done the same thing at Leopardstown with with Tell Me Something Girl was in behind her the same day. Got a great ride out in front. Probably got a bit of a freebie, but still. Craig Niche, you put up with 17-2 second. T Clipper in third at 33, and good old Seo, the grey lunatic, was back and forth at 28-1. She's a mare on the up very quickly.
Yeah,
She was good last year. She went over fences at the start of the season, hated them, back down over hurdles, and bolted up the last 2 times.
This if you had her gone through her form, back through her form, she was second at Abracadabras last year. I think in the Royal Bond. I could be wrong on that, but she was definitely second in the Grade 1, and she was 7th or 8th or something in the Supreme. I'm nearly sure. So her form was there. They put her up over fences. I think 2 or 3 runs. She was terrible. She just didn't jump properly at all. Back over hurdles, nice piece of form. Leopardstown, the third horse ended up winning the Mayor's Novice. Second horse, the Joseph's. We were actually on Joseph's horse that day at 40-1, beating the nose. She didn't run well the next day, but I would keep an eye on her.
Miss Milner was in the race as well. She fell.
Yes, Miss Milner was in the race and she fell. So a good piece of form there. A good ride again by the jockey, nipped a few lengths and never came back. I'll eventually get the winner of this race. Still haven't. Got second again, but sure, it is what it is.
Tom, what do you think of it? Good.
Yeah,
solid training performance.
Yeah, fair play to me. It's nice to see. You see, what happens is the Irish horses dominate, and then everyone says, "Oh, sure, it's just the Gordon and Willie show," though. But it wasn't this year, and it was so nice to see like a really small trainer get on the score sheet. And for Richie Condon gave her a fantastic ride for a £7 claimer, never ridden at Cheltenham before. You know, he rode her with a lot of confidence and kicked on and went for it. And
do you know what's nice to see though? When they came in, all the trainers and jockeys from the Ireland side came out and gave him a guard of honour.
It was deadly.
Nice because they know what it's like to have your first Cheltenham winner.
Yeah, and look, unfortunately, the one I put up and I was all over was Kashari, and he got hampered at last, but he was beat, and yeah, unfortunately not to be for Kashari, but no, well done to Paul Hennessy and Richie Condon, and yeah, she bolted up that way.
Surely step up in grade now for after that.
I think so. He's on about. I saw an interview with him there. He was getting all excited. He was on the Friday Club getting interviewed by Kevin O'Ryan, and he was saying like I'm now. He said my calendar came in and I started looking at all the big races for her. So look, throw her into like you've done your job. He actually bred this mare as well, which is the other thing that's really cool about it. So look, she's got her black type. She's won at the Cheltenham Festival. She's very much done her job now. Throw her into a Grade 1. See how you get on.
The hell with it. Why not?
Yeah.
Now, move on to the championship race at day 2. The Champion Chase, where probably our each way nap of the week won, but did not expect her to be Shaq, and let's be honest about it. Put the kettle on, 17-2, won. Nube Negra was back in second at 11th, and Chacun Pour Soi went off 8-13 on, was back in third. Do we or do we not put this down to Chacun not getting up the hill? Because after the last, he was good length up and put the kettle on in first place and faded back into third. The hill, yes or no?
He might have been one of the ones of Willie's that didn't fully perform, but we said me and you, Andrew, said it anyway. The last half furlong for me was an issue with Chacun, and it was the worst part of his race since I've watched him. He was better this year than he's been any other year, and I thought he'd take a hell of a lot of beating. But as Tom said already, if you're back against that mare at Cheltenham, you're back in your own.
You need to have your head examined.
You know, she's just unbelievable at Cheltenham. I don't know what it is, but she's about 12 pounds better at Cheltenham than she is everywhere else. She was beaten, and she just refused to give up. She got past Chacun, and then Nube Negra came, and she went further again. She had another little battle on her hands.
She's unreal
as well.
She's unreal.
So, you know, back against her at her own peril, but I'm sure she'll probably go back there next year, defend it. That's what he did with Size in Europe.
I could say
it'll probably be a good price again because Shishkin's going to be a short price favourite. He'll win probably 3 or 4 Grade 1s before that if Nicky Henderson actually runs his horses, which he didn't do this year, which is the maddest thing ever. But there you go. And I'm sure Shishkin will be odds on, and she'll be an E-Trade bet again next year. Just super mare. 4 or 5 Cheltenham runs. She's won them all.
4 unbeaten and 4 runs around Cheltenham, which is unbelievable. 2 Cheltenham Festival wins, an Arkle and a champion chase. And look, Retrieves alluded to it. Any horse coming out of the Arkle, the winner, just blindly back him going into the champion chase.
And she's getting £7 again.
Yeah.
It just makes such a massive difference when your mare is really, really good and refuses to be beaten and tries her heart out. Like, that £7 made all the difference with Nubia Negra and Shaka.
Yeah. Look, I said it before on the show. I've been lucky enough to bring horses from Ireland over to Cheltenham, and you can see some of them. They just light up. It's just completely different. It's like they're going on their holidays and then they compete over there, and they just flick a switch. And I'm sure I'd love to get some of the trainers on, or some of the lads even, to talk about it, because you ride them out at home, and you can ride some of the quietest ones, and they get to Cheltenham and they're just buzzed up. They're at the racecourse, and often when you bring a horse from home to the racecourse, they know what's going to happen. They know they're at a racecourse. They're buzzed, ready to go. And you get this out of these horses for a few days when you get to Cheltenham beforehand. And she's clearly one of them. Her form at Cheltenham is 10, 12, 14 pounds better than it is anywhere else. She's a fantastic mare. Like, to get headed and then to put her head down and battle back. And another thing is, like, people say it as well, mares can be tricky to train, but by God, when you get a mare who tries, they are just worth their weight in gold. Like, this mare tries her heart out, like, gets headed, battles back up the hill. She's an absolute dude of a horse, absolute legend. Really, really like her. I'm never backing against her at Cheltenham. As we say, if Shishkin is odds on or very sure, I'll take a price against without him, and I'll probably back her on her own against him as well.
Aidan gets on great with her as well.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he knows her well.
He knows her as well, and yeah, he just lets her do her own thing, and yeah, he's very chilled about it, and yeah, he gets on very well with her. When
he goes for her, she comes up the whole time. I think it's a jump at the third last where he asked her for a long one, and by God, she came up.
Yeah,
she did.
I just think on Shacken, I'm not having it as the hill. I was at the Dublin Racing Festival, not this year, gone last year, when we were allowed to go, and he winged fences down the back, and the third last, I think it is, at Leopardstown, the one down the back, he put the race to bed there. He winged it, and he went on a few lengths. He winged the next one, and the race was put to bed, right? And it was Min who was in second against him, who is definitely a very strong stayer over 2 mile and a strong stayer over 2.5 miles. He put that race to bed, right? And he ran past me, and he was not stopping, and Min was not getting to him. So he hasn't been to Cheltenham before. Maybe it's not his track. There is still a stiff enough finish at Leopardstown, and he was not stopping that day. So I'm going to have to put him down to something, he didn't quite run his race. And I think Willie had put him down as, didn't run his race. I think they're surprised he got beat. And he looked like he was going to win for me. Can I put this? I know I could be wrong here, but is that not the first time he's been properly off the bridle? Like properly in a battle? No, he's been off the bridle. He's been off the bridle plenty because, he's been asked to go and keep going. And that's what he normally does. He normally gets his length up and then keeps going all the way. He just didn't. Like, he just looked like he stopped. Yeah, I think this was the second day. We touched on it when he won. Was it the Dublin Race Festival or Christmas? I can't remember which one it was. But when he jumped the last, Paul brought him over to the rail, something seemed to happen, and Paul suddenly had to go for him and start trying to get him going again, and nothing really happened. That's the switch that went off in my head to saying, okay, there might be something stamina wise. But then I was looking back, it's 2 mile one. He'd be grand. Was a stiff uphill finish at Leopardstown. But then I know I've heard people saying there's stiff uphill finish at Leopardstown, but then there's the Leopardstown uphill finish, and then there's the Cheltenham finish. It's like for anyone from Waterford, the hill on the Wit is a gradual uphill, which is get there, no hassle. But then we're Bunkers Hill.
If you want me to run up like that, good luck to you. I'd stop. If I ran like that, though, I'd keep going.
Yeah.
That's what I think the big difference is. A gradual incline, you're grand, you'll get there. But if you're asked to hit a hill and go full pelt up it, you're going to start paddling at some stage.
I'm just saying I'm not gonna nail him on it just yet.
Oh no, I'd like to see him go again.
Yeah.
And then if it happened again, we can conclusively say, yeah, he doesn't get up the hill.
Yeah.
Well, look, hopefully he just had an off day, as we said again, Summer Willie's had, and he comes in tip-top shape next year and himself put the kettle on, and Shiskin can all go head-to-head jumping the last, and the Wonder Mare will beat them all again. Go on, put the kettle on. But I say, look, if Shiskin improves any more coming into next year, he's going to take some whacking, I'd say. Now, on to the cross-country chase, and look, Dave. Brought a tear to your eye, young man.
Yeah, this one made me cry.
Tiger came back to his brilliant best, winning at 9-2. Easy's Land back in second at even money. And some Nick, my lovely little grey, ran a storm back in third. Take it away.
I just knew from about 4 fences in that he was going to win. He's just back in business. Looked like he was happy, enjoying himself. Great training performance. Said all year, good ground. He comprehensively turned the form around with Easy's Land last year. But Eddie O'Leary gave a good interview after it. He just said the horse is just old and wise now. He won't do anything if you put him on heavy ground. He'll run for a certain amount of time. You try and put him under pressure and get him off the bridle, and he just doesn't want to do it. He just stops.
Sounds like me.
Which happens. Like, they're very smart animals. He's been around the place loads. He knows what he likes, knows what he doesn't like. So delighted they didn't give in to the pressure of return him when they know what's there. They know how good he is. They're the ones that look after him all the time. Like, horses, they run bad every now and again, and especially older horses. Doesn't mean that they need to be retired. They're retired long enough. Well, I think Istarak's about 27 or 28 or something.
He's about 50.
So, you know, when they still have it, let them run. And yeah, it brought a tear to my eye. I was just delighted. And I knew very soon into the race that Tiger Roll was back to being Tiger Roll.
Yeah, I think a good mile and a half into it, when Tiger was pinging fences and bowling along in front, we were all like, yeah, he's not coming back.
It's just a very, very special animal. To win 5 times at the festival is...
He's a horse for lifetime. We're never, ever going to see anything like it again. He's
phenomenal.
a winner from a Godolphin offcast to a dual Gold Cup, dual Grand National winner, 5-time Cheltenham Festival winner. Never again are we going to see the likes of it.
He's like the mare in ways as well. Just a little small thing, but you just can't beat heart.
No.
And in all sports, if you have loads of heart and you try your hardest, you'll go a long way. Like.
Tom, what do you think of it? Easy Land, very disappointing, or was just beat by a better horse in the day?
Yeah, no, Easy's Land was disappointing. I don't think he ran to his level of form that he can do. You know, he should be beating some net by a good way. However, I don't think he'd beat Tiger Roll. A circuit to go when they went out on their last little circuit. I just said to Siobhan, I said Tiger Roll's going to win, and it's almost like a reversal of what Easy's Land did to him last year. Yeah, Tiger Roll kicked on. Easy's Land couldn't go with him, and he wasn't coming back. And you know, that reverse of last year happened this year. Look, let's not beat around the bush, lads. Gordon Elliott trains that horse, and what a training performance. I mean, he deserves, like, we gave him plenty of stick over the stupid thing he did, but he deserves plenty of credit. I think one thing we said all along was there's no question if Gordon Elliott is a good trainer of a horse, and he's done a fantastic job at that, lad. The only thing I wish now is that they would have retired him on the spot. They ruled out the English National, which I think they ruled out too soon. If they were going there, fair enough. They don't want to go for the English National. I wish, like, what else do you want to do? I think that would have been a fantastic way to have said, that's it. Good man, Tiger. Thanks.
Do you know what I see could be the little carrot dangling in front of him? Dangling in front of him. Tiger Roll won. Easy Land won.
I don't know. If it was mine, I'd have said, you know what, mate, you've come back, you've lost your form, you've come back again for at least the second time in your career. You're 11. go, I'll see you in my garden. Thanks very much. I think you've done enough now.
Well, he's on the back foot. He's not going to run to the national. He's probably going to stop now for the season. But have 2 runs, bring him over to Cheltenham in November, December around the cross country, run him in the Boyne again, get him revved up for Cheltenham, get the 2-1 over Easy's Land, go out in a high. I know he can go out in a high now, but go out in a high when the crowd is there.
I'd love to see it anyway. As long as he's sound and he's okay, I'd love to see it. Gee, some of them horses running in that race the other day were about 16.
Yeah.
So, you know what I mean?
To them, like it's probably like a day out. Different kind of scenery, different jumps, and they probably think it's a right crack.
I'd like to see him in Easy's Land on ground that suits both of them. That's not highly in favour of Easy Land, and that's not highly in favour of Tiger Road. Because last year it was Easy's Land, this year it was Tiger Road. Somewhere down the middle.
Good soft in places.
Yeah, something like that, yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I'd have happily said, thanks very much, mate. You're done.
So he's going to the bowl.
It ain't true, yeah.
He's
entered in that, yeah.
Mentioned, but it's just like, what is the point? Like, if he's going to go and win an entry bowl, he'd have won the bloody Grand National. Like, that just does not make sense to me at all.
They must be kicking themselves. It's like I can't remember who said. I think Matt Chapman said, like, Michael O'Leary's not stupid. He's a billionaire, and you don't become a billionaire from being stupid. But this was a stupid decision.
It was. I don't even think it was a decision about a horse, to be quite. Just my personal opinion. And when it was done, I think it was done to relieve pressure on Gordon Elliott. To be honest, I no evidence of that. It's just my opinion. There was a PR team employed for Gordon by the look of it. Some of the press releases came from a company. Wouldn't be giving him my money probably, but I think it was done just to release pressure. It's a shame, really. I'd have loved to have seen him go. Imagine now we had the buzz of Tiger going for his third national off the back of that.
Is there any talk going for the Irish one?
There was after the race, but I don't know if they can.
That's where he's meant to go, I think. But
if he went for the Irish national,
I don't know. I don't know.
Have a chance, but I don't know if he wants the conventional.
Yeah.
Races.
I think you want something just mad to keep him interested. I don't think you get a buzz just running around in a circle in Fairy House.
I love him anyway. I just want a horse.
Yeah.
We need to get you
fair
up.
play to him. Really, he's a legend of a horse.
If we ever get a camera and we get up to see Dave up at Tiger Road,
I'd like to see him more than I want to see any other horse. I think. Yeah.
He'd probably cry.
Legend.
Oh yeah, all right. We've spent enough on that. But I'd love to see the trilogy Tiger Road, Easy Land next year. Grand Annual, Sky Pirate won a 14s, got a good ride, and Chuka's got a ride. Abel out 9s was third, and On the Slope was fourth to 16. I was the first to say at Sky Pirate. I thought his handicap mark was gone after his runs behind All Mankind, and I thought he had too much racing, but I was wrong.
The only thing I'd say about fair play to Sky Pirate, my pick fell early on. I made a few bad calls and horses through the festival this year, and there was a few bad rides from Mark Walsh in the festival this year. And whoever the commentator was calling Enchukas, Enchuka, you need to learn better.
Enchukas.
Or Ontusha. It was terrible anyway, that's all I know.
It's worse than me.
I didn't even know what horse he was talking about.
I was like, who is he on about? I was looking down the card. What? Oh, Enchukas, you dope. What do you think, Tom? Enchukas get an absolutely mare of a ride.
Yeah, Mark Walsh is a good jockey, but I don't think it was his finest moment. Sky Pirate, though, what a dude! Another horse that loves Cheltenham. It seems a long. I remember him falling there, coming to win a few years ago, and it seems like a long time ago. And like it's just one of those. Like his handicap mark looked blown, and to go and win it, fair play to him. I thought you ran great. I thought Enchukas should have won. Embittered fell. That was unfortunate. Just another Cheltenham handicap, really, isn't it? I think.
Yeah, And on that, we'll move on. On to Rachel Blackmore gives people a lesson on how to ride part 2 in the champion bumper. Sir Gerhard 84-41, Kilcrush back in second at 10-11 on El Abel 16s, and good old Three Stripes Life filled the other places at 10-1. Rachel rode him to sleep. Kilcrush, probably the best horse in the race, but given too much to do.
He was given way too much to do, but this is another super ride from Rachel Blackmore. I'd say Sir Gerhard probably is supreme horse. Kilcrush might be a Ballymore horse. So, but I'd like to see the two of them against each other over hurdles. But really good ride by the jockey. And third and fourth are good. The horses.
I think
really like Three Stripe Life. I won't be giving up on him for novice hurdles next year. He was very green.
Oh, his race was gone.
Pulled
down
for 4 or 5 furlongs, and he decided to get rid of Jack Kennedy on the way to the start as well. So
he ran unreal to finish fourth.
Yeah, he's only had one run in his life, so I would not be giving up on him.
I think the top two are very good.
I think it's a good bumper, but again, it wouldn't be the.
I agree with.
Now, to be honest.
I think Kilcrush is the best horse in the race. I think Ballymore is just rode all over him. Sir Gerhard is speed. I don't know what. I don't really know Dan Skelton's horse, and I think Three Stripes Life is going to be a very, very decent horse. But what do you think, Tom?
Yeah, I think the form is very strong. The fancied ones kind of came to the top here. Sir Gerhard was very good to lead all the way in a bumper. Yeah, and to keep going the way he did was very, very impressive. He's been long touted as a really nice horse. Kilcrush ran a cracker. Yeah, I'd say he's probably got the more toe. He had a few lengths to go make up with Sir Gerhard, and he made it up, and then he couldn't go past him. El Labelle ran on from miles back and looks one to keep an eye on. Three Stripe Life, yeah, ran an absolute blinder, I think, and is going to come forward for that. And is a very interesting horse. And then the one who came fifth is Super Six, a horse that Nigel Twiston Davis's had won its 2 bumpers before this. Is only a 4-year-old. Very, very hard to win this as a 4-year-old, and that's definitely one to keep an eye on as well. So, yeah, it's form I'll be following into next year, and very interested to see what route they go with some of those.
Yeah, good to look forward to next year. On to we have to do it. I'm sorry. On to Thursday, March Thomas Chase. Oh, that should be Envoy Allen's name first. This was where something happened that we never thought we'd see this season anyway, and Envoy Allen and Jack Kennedy ended up on their arse. But look, Chantry House won at 9-1. Fuse the Raffles was second, and Steering for Lange looked like he was going to win at one stage at 14-1, finished third. Right, we may as well start with the obvious. Envoy buzzed up beforehand. Look, it's been said that he is like this, so it's not really a shock to see, but we haven't really seen it on a race course yet. There's so many excuses coming out with people talking shit through their pockets. Oh, the change yards done this. They're traveling over down to Henry's and traveling straight over to Cheltenham only a week or two later. Thought they're doing this. He's upset, blah, blah, blah. He just fell. He was just buzzed up. He took off miles too early and he breasted the fence. It was a novice mistake. He never made a mistake in his whole life over fences. What do you think of it? That's just my opinion on it. Tom, what's your take on it?
Yeah, he was very buzzed up. He was very keen. He took a chance at the first. He took a chance at the second, and I was worried after that. He wasn't too bad at the third. He didn't actually jump the fence too bad. At the fourth where he fell, it's kind of, if you look at it in slow-mo, his legs just don't come out in time. Very novice-y fall. Just didn't really know how to get his legs in the right position. But yeah, look, they're really disappointing. was buzzing going into it. Couldn't wait to watch him. I've never seen so many people trying to lay off multiples though. It was hilarious. So many people trying to get their bets, their stakes covered at least, and lay off. Look, he was a bit buzzy in the Ballymore last year. I think again that going over to Cheltenham just switches him on. Yeah, I'm not going to knock the horse for it. I don't really know what else to say about him. It was just a novice-y thing to do. He got there, he buzzy. The stuff moving to Henry's is just codswallop, isn't it? It's just money pocket talk. It didn't seem to bother a lot of horses over the week. You know, Galvin had moved, Sir Gerhard had moved, Calixios had moved. So, yeah, no, I'm not having that for a second. I just thought it was a novice error. Didn't get his feet in the right position when he was landing then, and just went down. But, yeah, he's just a bit too buzzed up. But something to work on. But the problem is it's going to be difficult to work on because he doesn't do that in Ireland. He doesn't seem to get buzzed up in Ireland. So you're not going to know until you go to Cheltenham next year. Where do you go with him next? Do you up him in trip and try and aim for a Gold Cup? Do you aim for a Ryanair when the owners have got the bloody demolition job in the Ryanair?
Yeah, they do.
I don't know. You probably try and up him in trip, don't you?
Look, he's been bought for a Gold Cup. It's always been said he's a Gold Cup horse. So you work back from the Gold Cup, and I say you plan your season then and see where it takes you.
What price Henry de Bromhead 1, 2, 3 in the Gold Cup next year? Think about that. You got 3 Gold Cup horses.
He really does, when you think
we get on to Indo now. Absolute fucking freak.
Yeah, look, I don't know. You probably, if he was mine, I'd probably try and target a Gold Cup. But
do you know, on Twitter, Cesspit again was at it after this. Oh, Jack Kennedy made him take a fall. The horse knew he had to fall. I was like, yeah, Jack Kennedy just bent over and whispered in his ear. Now, if I see this fence here, you don't mind falling, would you, good lad? Few $100 going in my pocket here. Do me a favour, you absolute pile of shite hawks.
Wow.
Seriously? I don't even read it anymore. The whole Gordon.
I seen it, and I was thinking, you only back at Cheltenham. You obviously had Envoy Allen in the accumulator. You have never sat in a horse in your life, and you've probably never seen one up close and personal. So shut your mouth. You have no idea what you're on about.
Wow.
Like, he left him down for a load of money, and he just went, that's horse racing, they fought.
It is. There's nothing you can do about it. Like, it started off a bad Thursday for me, but sure, it is what it is. Like,
and look, when it happened to Annie Power, the best thing I've ever seen when that happened to Annie Power was they had the Paddy Power put out with Ruby in the back of a pickup truck and picked up a fella. Now jump off. They're going to.
That's rubbish. Like, I mean, yeah, it was just a novice mistake, and he was very buzzed up, and hopefully the horse learns from it himself and says, Jesus, he's clearly an intelligent horse. And I think if he says to himself, God, I won't do that again,
probably the best thing that could have happened to him.
It's just strange. It was strange to me. He might be buzzed up at home, but you don't see it on the race course. He's just super professional on the race course. He just goes out, does his job, doesn't worry. Like, he didn't do any of that monkeying around that Monkfish did in the RSA. Like, that's not in his character so far that we've seen. So it was strange to me, and I was the same as Tom. He jumped the first two. I was like, this yoke's falling today. It's just he's not at the races at all.
Do you know who I feel bad for though? Paul Nolan. A fight in Monkfish, and now you're going to see Envoy Allen at Fairy House instead.
It's quite likely, yeah.
Potentially, yeah.
Man, I love that latest exhibition too.
Moving on to Paul Nolan.
We didn't even talk about the winner. Chantry House. Look, it was.
Yeah, he can win all he wants. I couldn't care less.
Nico de Bainville. Oh, I was waiting for Envoy Allen to pick me up coming up the straight.
When he fell, I thought Chamblew was going to win, and then I got to halfway down the hill and went, I think Chamblew's not going to win this.
Harry Skelton has probably seen him fall and talk, oh, I can take this apart now. And yeah, you're not riding Batash, lad. Chill.
He didn't see anything because he thought he was on a 5 furlong sprinter.
He thought he was on Batash.
I thought
it didn't make any sense.
Oh, he got a bit giddy in himself. Right. Look, I don't think any of the first three are up to anything. Styrian Phalanges is just that was a very encouraging run. In fairness, for the stuff he does, Fuser Raffles is a little. He's a good little horse. I like him.
Chantry House is alright. He's a talented horse, but the race lost what it was when Environment fell.
Right. Moving on to the Pertomps final, and another Irish winner, Miss Miller, won at 12s. The Boss's Oscar, a hell of a lot of money came from him. He went off 10-3 favourites. Come on, Teddy, at 10s. And Miller was 4th in 7s. Tom, we start to you. The Boss's Oscar ran a huge race for the weight he was carrying. Surprised he went off favour, but Miss Miller absolutely bolted up.
Yeah. Oh, look, he. I put him up last year on our ones to follow video. He got no run in the Martin Pipe, and I fancied him for Cheltenham all year round. He went off very short. I thought he was going to win all the way around. I'd put up Mrs. Milner as well on our preview show. I think she was 25s or whatever. Backed her each way. She got absolutely mullered in running when one of them came back on top of her. And I went, oh, well, that's her gone. So I completely stopped watching her. I just watched the Boss's Oscar. And I was like, this is going to win an absolute minute here. And then switched the inside. I was like, what is that? And it's Mrs. Miller. I have no idea how she won that. It's fair play. Another one that just switches on at Cheltenham. And bolted up. Good old Wexford win.
Yeah. It's good. It was a very good plan by Paul Nolan all season, I think, for bringing her over. I think it was in November when she got touched off by On the Blind Side. That was part one. Tick, right, she acts around Cheltenham. Let's try see where we are with her now. Runner was in the Mayor's Handicap at the Dublin Race Festival. Fell. Okay, we got her back. Handicap mark, all right. Boom. But it didn't go unnoticed. There was a lot of whispers for the whole run up to Cheltenham.
Yeah, there's a good few people put it up.
I think Andrew put him up.
Yeah, the Witch.
The Witch put him up. Well, he puts up everything that Paul Nolan's run, let's be honest.
Also true.
It's like me and Henry. Look, she's a mare on the improvement. So look, she could be running the Grade 1 mares next year. Right. Where are we now? I'm going to get smug about this.
You know exactly where we are.
I'm going to get so smug about this. Oh, look, it's Denman reincarnated. He absolutely battered. Absolutely tore apart a very, very good field. I've said all I've said about him for the last 2 years. 2.5 miles, 2.5, whatever the hell they want to call it these days. Out in front, leave him jumping stupid. He'll gallop him into the ground. And he duly obliged.
And that's fair enough, right? But I never thought I'd see him do this.
Oh, I did.
I know you say you did, and I still don't know how you think he was going to do this. I don't think anything in his form said he is going to go out at an absolute 1,000,000 miles an hour, get proper Grade 1 horses off the bridle, look like he's running away with Rachel at one stage, and still bolt up. Add him to Honeysuckle at Christmas and Monkfish, or at the Dublin Racing Festival, and Monkfish at the Dublin Race Festival. I never thought I'd see this horse do that. It was me and Dave put in our group. He's going way too fast, lads, and he looked really keen. She got a breather into him, which I would say was key, but I don't even think it was. He just annihilated them. I couldn't believe what I was watching.
It's the way he has to be rode. Like, even over the hurdles, over 2 years over the hurdles, or not 2 years, when he got beat in the Alba Park, and when he got beat at Punchestown then, off Manila Indo again, and when he was getting beat over 3 miles, I said, why aren't they? I even said to Patrick when he came on the show, can you please drop him down to 2.5 miles, throw him out in front, and leave him jump everything stupid? It's what he needs. I'm available for a race plan, Tom, when you become a trainer, by the way.
I didn't know what to make.
My point was he's been beaten over 2.5. I think his Cheltenham form is obviously a lot better.
He comes to life in the spring.
Yeah.
I was full sure that he didn't stay 3 miles anyway, and he definitely don't stay 3 miles. For me, I said after the race I didn't know what to make of the form, but when Indo went and won the Gold Cup, for me it was the performance of the whole festival. I don't really like the horse, but you have to believe what you saw. especially with the Indo form. Then the Gold Cup, we get on to champ and all that as well, because that form, I don't know what happened to him. But I'd drop back and trip.
I wouldn't.
I would let
Not
him
a
do
chance.
that over 2 miles.
No.
Willie said he might do it at Punchestown. I quite like to see it.
I'll ring Willie and I'll ring Patrick.
I think he's very fast.
He's unbelievable cruising speed. His cruising speed is spectacular. His jumping is unbelievable. I think 2 mile 5, 2 mile 4 is ideal on good jumping ground. Let him rip. Off he goes. You're not catching him. He's jumping. Like, go back to the horse that rid the field. He had there were grade 1 winners in behind halfway through, choking because they couldn't keep up with him.
People will probably crab on, I'm going to say, but like, Tom is right. There's nothing in his form to say that he was going to do that. Not the way he did it, right?
No.
And the rating he's going to get is going to be so high, it's probably going to be inflated, because I would be surprised if he ever puts in a performance like that again. I will be massively surprised.
He will. He'll do it again next year.
It was like the performance of Surname at Ascot, and it was just out of nowhere.
Don't you
never
dare
done it again.
dare put Allaho's name in the same sentence of that shite hawk, the most overhyped, overrated horse in the history of horse racing. Stop. Allaho is an absolute...
There was literally nothing in his form to say that he was going to do that.
What isn't it? He was second. He was third behind Champ and Allaho.
Champ is useless, according to you.
Yeah. And you think he's the best thing since sliced bread until Friday.
He didn't jump any fences.
Milena Indo won the Gold Cup. He got beat by Milena Indo in the Albert Bartels. He got beat again in the Punchestown version at Punchestown. 3 miles. 3 miles. 3 miles. I've ranted and raved about it for 2 years solid. Please drop him down to this. He's going to tear horses apart. I don't know what it is. I just seen him out in front. He'll jump him stupid. He has cruising speed. He can stay further so he can use his pace, and he'll jump him stupid. He spat out Min, for God's sake. Yeah, Min couldn't keep up with him.
I think what you have to go back to is he ran over 2 mile 5 at Leopardstown at Christmas in December 19. He got beat by Easy Game.
Yeah, and he comes alive in the spring. He's a spring horse.
Going back down our trip, and then he's run over 2.5 miles 4 times, and the only 2 times he's won is when he was odds on in poor enough fields. And I think what
he did to Ellie May at Thurles was not what he did at Cheltenham.
No, not at all. Not at all.
Now, on that Ellie May, Willie Mullins came out and said, after that race, I wanted to give him another run because he wasn't fit enough. And they couldn't, so they gave him an extra bit of work. And he don't look. He was tuned for the day. He's always going to be tuned for the day at Cheltenham.
I think that what is key to this horse, and I said to you, Andrew, I'm on the Allaho bandwagon now, but I think he's going to be a bit of a put the kettle on horse. He could get beaten Ireland next year. There's not a great 2.5 mile program for horses like that. I think he could easily get beaten Ireland a couple of times next year, and I think we'll rack up to the Ryanair, hopefully, and better ground and Cheltenham are the key to him. And if he turns up there next year like that, there's nothing in the world going to beat him.
Like, we done a show after the John Durkan, and he was battered in it. And I don't know, someone said to me, you want to give up on him now? I said, relax, it's not Cheltenham yet. He'll turn up at Cheltenham and he'll do what he has to do.
The only thing is, what puts me off is Willie's like, it's like it's a classic Ryanair horse, isn't it? It's like, where will you go with him next? It's like asking someone, where would they go with a champion chaser next? It's like, well, I go back to the champion chase. Where are you going to go with Minetta Indo next? I'm going to go for the Gold Cup. Where are you going to go with this horse who's just demolished the Ryanair field? Looks a complete non-stayer when he steps up to 3 miles. Where are you going to go with him? I'm going to go back to the Ryanair. Willie's on about the champion chase.
Like, Willie got a bit carried away now.
I'd be going back to the Ryanair every day of the week, and I think
I haven't backed for the Ryanair already next year. But that's my first Andy Post bet I've done already.
I think he would, yeah.
Just love him.
I wouldn't back him yet for it. I'd wait till he loses next year when his first run or second run.
Yeah, but they know how he does now. They're not going to make him go bigger.
We've so much more to get through. I've just looked at what's coming up, and there's so many good races.
Onto the stairs. Flooring Porter absolutely floored the field with Cider Burley back in second at 5-1 and Paisley Park back in third at 9-4. And Tom, start with you. Cider Burley ran a very good race. Looked like he was going to come there on the turning, but Jesus, this Flooring Porter is an absolute. He looks like a little freak that's just a nutcase.
He kind of ran the race. I thought he'd run Cider Burley, and I thought he was potentially open to one like that was well ahead of him, and it turned out he was. But he ran very creditably. I thought he'd be placed in this race for a long time. He's another one, Cheltenham. It's Cheltenham form, lads. It just comes to fore all the time. It's just different gravy. Paisley Park ran a lovely race. Fair play to him. He kept on all the way. Looked like he was going to win it at one stage. He's just a year older now. He's beaten by a 6-year-old. Flooring Porter, lads. Unbelievable. What a performance. Just go back through this horse's form. He started off in handicaps off 105, but he was actually rated 95 when he won his maiden hurdle at Bellierstown in August 2019. Like
Bellierstown.
95 to winning a Stayers hurdle being rated 160. There is not many horses do that. It's an unbelievable performance and a fantastic training performance. A Syndicate own him, and they're called the Flooring Porter Syndicate, and there's a great picture of them stood with a few pints of Guinness afterwards outside a house. I thought that was really nice. Shout out to Johnny Burke. He got a fall and he couldn't ride him, and fair play. That takes
You just say Johnny Burke.
I did say Johnny Burke, and I meant Jonathan Moore. Good listening there. I did say Johnny. I was like, why have you stopped? And I did say Johnny Burke. Jonathan Moore, and he said he rode out that morning. He could barely stand up in his irons. That takes balls to make that decision that you're not going to do the best for the horse and to let somebody else ride it on the biggest stage. Fair play to him. He's got plenty of days ahead of him. And he missed out on a couple of winners this week, but he's got a lot ahead of him. And Gavin Cromwell's stable is going from strength to strength.
I don't think we've seen half of what this horse can do. You think?
Yeah, I think he's the best horse in the race. Good training performance. Wouldn't be surprised if he comes back next year and wins it as well. Still looks a bit green. He tried to nearly run out after the last hurdle.
I was going back. Sorry, I was going back to his form after the night after he won the race, and I just clicked on the one where he ran at Gorn Park. Oh, good God, he ran all over the place. He's an absolute Fruit Loop.
Yeah, he looks a bit green, but I'd say
I think that was the race Streets of Dying beat him.
I think he'll only get better.
Yeah, was he only 6? He could win this for the next 2 years. All being well.
Yeah, definitely could. I wouldn't take him on either. He looks like he's still improving.
Now, on to the festival plate, and the mother and father of gambles and bonuses and everything else to go with it landed with the shunter at 9-4. Fairclass was back in second at 5-1. Good old top notch of 50s back in third, and Cool Cody back in fourth at 22-1. This thing didn't jump a goddamn twig and still bolted up. How much does this horse have in hand left? Like,
I don't know. I'd say been another couple of races though. Really good training performance, and just unreal jockey. Said it in the preview night. If he's on your horse, don't worry about it. He's robbing £7 claim. So
I thought he gave a very good interview after it. He was I think he was just coming up into the back straight, and I think it was Adrian Hescom said to him, "Relax, you're in the right position. You're all right. Keep going the way you're going." I think that was nice now.
And that's to take a pull then. And like the horse didn't jump very well, and I was worried about him over fences because he's definitely better over hurdles, this lad. And to take a pull and to ride him with so much confidence. Like Jordan Gainsford only ridden like 12 winners between the flags, and he's only just turned professional. So like he's and you can see he's a £7 claimer, and he's a bit of tidying up to do, but God, he rides well. He is going to be a very, very good jockey.
Future champion.
I would give a shout out to Brian Hayes. who got this lad beat in a maiden hurdle at Tipperary, and that must have been that like we're talking about good rides. That must have been a hell of a good ride. How the hell this horse got beat, I have no idea. But he's just gone from strength to strength then. And he's so tough because they brought him over to Kelso to get the 100 grand bonus, and to go and do that, and then to turn up in Cheltenham and do it like this. What a horse! Like he'd be some lad to own, that lad. And Emmett Mullins, shout out to Emmett Mullins. His strike, he doesn't have many horses. He's a small select team. My God, his strike rate. Go back and look at his strike rates. He's unbelievable, lads. His training performances are insane.
If you could bottle up the Mullins genes now, you'd make an absolute fortune. They're all a dab hand with horses. It's just look, the training
surprising, is it?
No, not really. Look, it was an unbelievable training performance, and it doesn't look like he's finished improving by any stretch of the imagination. He could still do it, improving and jumping, and if he does, God only knows where he could end up. He's a handicap mark that is very workable. So, like, where do you go next? Do you plan going near a national? Do you plan graded race? There's so many options to go with him.
I don't know. He definitely has.
Do you target the Galway plate? That could be.
Do you know what I do with him? Right, is he's a 2 mile, 2.5 mile horse. He's rated 142 over hurdles, and I believe that's a UK mark. I think that's a UK mark. I would run him over fences for the next year, and then I'd turn up in the county hurdle off 142. Watch him win half track.
Thank you. Our second Cheltenham Festival anti-post.
There you go.
Yeah, Emmett Mullins, I'm available if you want to talk.
I'm better, Emmett. Don't worry. Right, moving on to the Mayor's Novice Hurdle, and another winner for Henry and Rachel. Tell me something, girl. It's so hard not to sing that. At 5-1. Magical Days was 22s in second, and Mighty Blue was 12s. The night before, this thing was 16-1. Battered in the betting. I said in our last show before Cheltenham, wherever she runs back her, because there's a hell of a lot of improvement coming out of her. Did not expect her to do this now, and I'm going to be honest about it. But the mountain of money that came on her was ridiculous, and she won it well. Another fine ride from Rachel, this time from the back, and a 1-2 for Henry as well. Dave, where next for this?
I'm not sure. I suppose she'll have to jump into the grade ones now, or that's what she's looking like anyway. It's mad that she got bet in a handicap in Leopardstown. But yeah, good race. She's a horse, like she was campaigned, I think, during the summer, kind of late summer months. I think the good ground is it's not key to her, but it seemed to bring out a lot more improvement in her, and the change of style of racing, dropping her in. I think Henry said after last year with Manila Melody, where they went from the front and they got beat, so they said, right, we're going to try drop him in with Tell Me Something Girl this year and cut our way through. I thought Magic Days ran a hell of a race for how much she pulled from the front the whole way around. Yeah, she's a good filly as well, I'd
say. Tom, what do you think? Where next, or what kind of performance do you think it was?
Yeah, I think the ground definitely helps her. And again, I think this is another mare that is going to be better at Cheltenham than anywhere else we see. That form is a good bit above anything we've seen from her before. God, she bolted up. Rachel gave her a fantastic ride. She got her settled, got her travelling, and she just cut through them like a knife through butter on the home turn, and just won going away. She's a gorgeous looking mare as well. Kenny Alexander has got some team. Fair play to a lot of them with Henry, but he's got a few of them dotted around as well. And Peter Maloney does his buying for him, and he's done a fantastic job. He's got such a good broodmare band. And I was saying to you guys, like, if I had a few million to go throw at this, that's what I'd love to do. Is I'd love to go and buy these really well bred and top class mares, race them, and then breed from them, because you get when you breed from them then and they have geldings, you've got the geldings to go and have a crack with. So fair play. It's a really, really cool way of doing it. I wish him the best of luck. I'm sure Kenny Alexander in a few years' time is going to be a huge owner when he starts getting the foals out of these top class mares. Magic Days, just as the lad said there, ran an absolute blinder as well. She form ties in with Galliard Domestic, and she's got a lot of potential. That was only her third run on the track, and there's a lot to come from her.
Yeah, 2 good mares to take going forward. Yeah, right, move on. Move on to the Kim Muir, and probably the best ride you'll probably see for the rest of the season. How Jack Kennedy got Mount Ida to win this race is beyond me. Ended up dotting up anyway at 3-1. Cloudy Glen was second at 33s, and Shantou Flyer was back in thirds at 11-2. Circuit out. For Circuit gone, I had this horse rolled off altogether. This thing can't win. And then 4 out, this thing arrives on the snaff. Someone explain how Jack Kennedy has suddenly become Harry Potter.
Oh, well, it was just an unbelievable ride. He obviously knows how good she is and how much she has in hand, because when she actually did get into the race, it's like there was nothing else in the race. It's like she just appeared there out of nowhere.
The thing was jumping out to her right the whole time.
Imagine her back going right-handed.
I think the more they got into the race, though, the more straighter she started jumping. But the first circuit when she's going violently out to her right, I was like, there's not a chance in hell this thing is winning.
She's loads left in her.
And then just goes to show, I think Gavin said, wait till this thing's back at him running.
Yeah. Wait, it reminded me of the year Cause of Causes one that came Muir, because he was miles back as well.
Tom, best ride at the festival?
Yeah, I mean, I think the best ride of the festival to keep going in the first place. So many people would have pulled her up and said, not on a going day. He persevered and just destroyed them. Like she's come from last and going nowhere to traveling on the bridle into it. She must be so well in. And again, Cheltenham looks to have lit her up big time. Just insane. Really good. And, best luck to them. And again, more mares winning, lads. There's so many good mares out there. And everyone, we'll address it now. People giving out about a £7 mares allowance. Look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is we need mares running. We need a competitive mares program. Ireland have a fantastic mares program. Absolutely unbelievable. They put so much effort into it. So much sponsorship goes into it. And there's a really good program there for people to keep mares and race mares. And it's really attractive to do so at the minute. I think we're reaping the rewards of that now, that we have these mares in training and we're seeing how good they are, because some of them in years gone by may not have run. They'd have just been bred from. But it's great to see them running, and she destroyed them. It's insane.
Oh, she touched 1,000. Wasn't you said on Betfair?
She hit 1,000 on Betfair, which is 990. It's the biggest price they have. It's 999 to 1. Wow, it's just, you don't get many of those horses winning.
No. Right, moving on to Friday. On to the Triumph Hurdle, one of Tom's anti-post bets came in. Calixias won very impressively at 2-1. Adagio was a solid second at 10s. And Who on Collar was the best I'm going to do with that at 20s. Tom, take it away, Calixias. I was not expecting this, and I'll be honest about it, but by God, he bolted up.
I kind of was, because you do need and they're all saying he's a stayer, and you need a stayer to win the Triumph, I think. In most cases anyway. And I know you get latched on to horses, Andrew, and Dave a bit as well, and I'm the more kind of they're all going to get beat at some stage. They're trying to be a bit of a realist. This is the lad. I love this horse. This is one of my new favorite horses.
Doesn't it feel good though?
Oh, he's such a dude. He is such a good-looking horse. And I'm rooting for him because it just didn't sit well with me. You won a grade 1 on a horse, and you turn around and you're like, "Yep, the other lad we got at home's better." Like, give him a bit of bloody credit, and then he goes and hammers the other lads. Delighted about that, and yeah, he just is a great-looking horse. I have no idea where they're going to go with him, but he is an absolute dude, and. It was when the horse on his inside tried to run out at 2 out, I think it is, and he pricked his ears, and I went, "Oh, we're in business here." And it was just you got these 2 big ears pricked, and he did it again coming to the last, and he'd a lot left in the tank. I think he'd have kept going all day up that hill. Adagio ran well, as we were saying before. He had the bloody claim in for Adagio in France when he won his maiden. When he won on the flat, and he bolted up. He ran well, and Uncolors, if that's how you say it, he ran well considering that was his first run in the UK or Ireland. But Calixios, one of the highlights for me. I really enjoyed watching that.
Yeah, I put up Adagio in our anti-post videos first, but I was happy with 16-1 each way, but there was no chance in hell he was getting near Calixios on the day. He's a horse I'm looking forward to now seeing a fence. He's a big chasing type as well. But look, they're miles to find with Calixios if they ever meet again. What do we make of Zana here?
I'd say he underperformed, but it was very strange they did a tongue tie on him. And he hadn't a tongue tie in the other 3 runs. So to me, that was odd. And we just didn't see him enough, I don't think.
Who?
Santa here, like we hadn't seen him run since November or December time. So
issues? Do we think?
I don't know, possibly. I couldn't see him winning because we hadn't seen him in so long. I'd say the best horse in the race won, to be honest.
Tritonic.
I think he said that he wanted better ground, but you're not going to get much better ground than that.
Better ground, he said, excuse.
I think so, yeah.
Stop with you now. He was beat a long way out.
Good to soft, good in places. You're not going to get better national hunt ground than that, really, are you? So.
No. Well, look, Calixios, hell of a horse and hell of a performance there. Right. Move on. County Hurdle. Belfast Banter won a 33-1 for Kevin Sexton, who was on our preview show last year. Well done, Kev. Who was second? Hold up now, who's coming across? Oh, Jesus Christ. Poor Petty. Petty Mouchoir ran an absolute stormer off top weight to be second at 22s. Milkwood was third at 28s, and Eclair de Beaufou was back in fourth at 11s. Poor Petty.
What can you do? He ran his heart out again. Good race. County Hurdle every year is a bit of a minefield, so fair play if you got the winner. We were on the second and I think the fifth. I
never expected Belfast Banter to actually battle. I backed him 3 times. I think there's 2 times this year, and he folded every single time. That's exact. I looked at him and I said, no, he's not going to battle through this. Yeah, he might pick up each way money, which I should have backed him each way at that price, but still, look, hindsight, it's a great thing.
Penny Mouchoir, top weight beaten by the bottom weight.
What do you think of it, Tom?
Delighted for Kevin Sexton. I didn't know whether I wanted to start with Petit Mouchoir, but I said I'd start with the winner. Delighted with for Kevin Sexton. He was on our preview and I was sat next to him, and really nice guy. He's ridden some winners in Ireland for friends of mine. And he said after the race, if it wasn't for the Fahis, he probably wouldn't be riding. I thought he gave it a great ride. He found a bit of trouble, didn't panic. And for a horse, as you say, Andrew, I'd got him as I know they call it the time form squiggle. I'd got him as one that I was never, ever, ever going to back. I saw him put up in a few places and I went, yeah, I'm okay, thanks. But yeah, he did it very well. But Petit Mouchoir is what a hero of a horse, lads. A 10-year-old. He just loves life, doesn't he? He just loves racing. He's run to an RPI of 160 there. Like that's insane to do.
Legend,
yeah. Legend of a horse.
I'd love to go buy one of those older horses. There's a few of them for sale coming up now this week. I think Alpha de Zobo is in there. Balco de Flo is in there, and Bally Optic is in there. They're maybe not quite the right ones, but I'd love. We had a look at Petit Mouchoir, but he was obviously a bit too dear for us. But I'd love to go buy one of those older horses and try and freshen them up and give them a proper campaign, and it'd be really good fun. Really, I think
Balco could be one. There's a lot of
got backed off the boards, didn't he? For the thing. The problem is they're entered in the Grand National, and everyone wants Grand National runners. So you just get they're.
Thank you, Darren Yates, buying the three of them.
They're way too much money.
And that joke he spent what?
600k on.
Did that run today?
No, ran yesterday. Third.
I've taken a break off racing the last 2 days, lads. I've loved it, and I'm doing my self-enforced no gambling like I did for part of January, and I'm doing it until the end of April, and I'm really looking forward to it. I'm going to get well stuck into the flat season, let the form settle down over the next 6 weeks, and then be raring to go in May. So
I'm not going to hear any flat racing until the big festivals.
Yeah, that's the Guineas then. The start of that is the Guineas. So
I backed my Guineas horse today anyway.
Look, we take the piss out of Darren Yates for it. But Jesus Christ, like, he's horses in England and he's willing to spend that kind of money on horses.
Yeah, well, if you've money.
Oh, fair play to him. He'll land on a right one.
He needs to get a better bloodstock agent, in fairness.
I don't know who buys from, but yeah. I said to you guys that Interconnected came like I think it's common knowledge. I think I'm 99% sure JP was the underbidder. So that Interconnected came with a huge reputation. It just hasn't worked out, but
he's a lovely looking horse. You can see why he cost so much.
Yeah.
Well, just because you're good looking doesn't mean you're any good.
That's my problem, really, isn't it?
Wow. Moving on to the Alba Paris. How would you pronounce this one? Vanillier at 14s won. Oscar Elite at 40s and Streets of Dying back in 10s. Back to the good old shite rinning Alba. Not shite, but that's a bit unjust service, but a bit Alba Bartlett back to being not sexy again.
I wouldn't say it's not sexy. I would think the winner is probably the RSA winner next year.
No,
maybe.
It's not. I have the RSA winner for you. I'll give it you now in our anti-post.
I think he's a good winner. Streets of Diane had form with Florent Porter, so that stands up as well. I think he's a good winner. He looks all the world like he wants a fence in 3 miles. So,
Tom,
we said something random was going to win this, didn't we? And it did. Bolted up, lads. Absolutely bolted up.
He had beaten Statler already, so he had decent form.
Yeah, he's got very good form there. I would not say it was a fluke. I'd say he's a very good horse. Again, Cheltenham's probably perked him up, bought a bit more out of him. He looks every bit a chaser. And yeah, he's really, really exciting horse.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of it at all. I didn't really look into it, but it didn't really.
Helen Sheridan's got the RSA winner. Good woman, Helen.
Who's that? Helen.
There must be in the comments there.
In the comments.
Hold on.
And if you were going to nick this on me, I'd tell you something, Andrew.
What? What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Were you going to nick them on me?
No, I'm not. I'm someone that's going to beat.
No. For anyone not watching or we can't get it up there, a brave man's game for the RSA Helen put up. I think he's got a cracking chance for the RSA.
I'll give you who's going to beat him at the end of the show.
Ooh.
And he's 40-1.
Oof.
I'll get my graphics back. Where'd he gone? Here we go. Right, on to the Blue Ribbon event.
Someone had the 1,000 guineas winner there in the comments as well.
I am not talking about flat yaks right now.
Joseph's horse wins it, but anyway, we'll just move on now.
Hold up now. I've got to press this button, and this button makes it go there, and then this button makes it scroll across the bottom.
There you go.
So, Manila Indo was first at 9-1. Aplu Tom was second at 10-3, and Album Photo ran his heart out back and forth. Tom, take it away. Manila Indo, absolute dude of a horse.
Now, the piss that has been taken out of me all year for selecting 3 horses in the Gold Cup that every time it got brought up, it was, oh, how many you got in the Gold Cup, Tom? 10. No, I had 3. One of them was 50-1. The other 2 were both 10-1, and I managed to land on the 1-2. So that's me blowing my own trumpet over.
I put up the 1, 2, 3 in the live one.
Oh, fantastic! Yeah. Look, what a race, lads! It is the blue ribbon, isn't it? Every year, you're massively up for it when it comes around, and I thought you could call him the winner a long way out. To be honest,
I thought with a second ago he was going so well and jumping beautifully.
He jumped well. He travelled well. I saw an interview with Henry a couple of weeks ago, and he was saying he was disappointed after his last run when he fell, and then he said, I kind of got to remind myself, not when he fell, sorry, after his fall. He said, I kind of got to remind myself that, you know, we were trying to peak for Cheltenham, and he sounded pretty confident. And this is another lad again who his Cheltenham form is very, very good, and it's better than his Irish form. And I got a bit sweet on him again. I thought a Plutard would probably win, but I got sweet on Malala Indo, and I just thought he jumped, he travelled, and he was excellent. A Plutard gave him a fantastic run for it. It was a really gallant second, but yeah, I mean, what can you say? It was a great race. Albin Photo, Paul Hownan came back and he said, you know, he missed the 3rd and 4th last, and they were probably the fences that won it for him last year, and they cost him this year. And I don't think he'd have won, but I don't think it helped him, obviously, missing those 2. But fantastic race.
I think he underperformed slightly. I don't think there was that kick at the end that he had the last 2 years.
The other thing to say is we went back through it, and when I texted you in our group, I saw a replay of last year's Cheltenham Gold Cup. The form of that's crap. Like, those horses, they'd have got laps this year, and some of them did get laps this year. He's clearly a very good horse, but I think he was just beaten by 2 very, very good horses as well.
Indo he keeps a lot to himself. The years on him after jumping the last, second he done it, I was like, oh, this is going to be RSA all over again. I think this is the only race I've never backed him in. I lashed onto this horse many a time. I just forgot. I just said no. Ah, well done, Tom.
That and the Triumph are good for me anyway. We won't talk about the race after this, but
we will now. Don't worry. But let's talk about Champ Baby.
Doesn't jump, lads.
It didn't jump and made no sense holding him up after the last day. It's crazy. But I said it about some of the other horses this year that Hendo has been wrapping up in cotton wool. That's what you get.
It's the fact that all season I couldn't wrap my head around how people are latching onto him when he's going to go into open grade and he jumps like that. He won a race last year that the 2 horses in front, one of them is a non-stayer and one was just being an absolute dick and just stopping in front.
That's fair enough, but he did beat both of them, so the talent is there and you can't say it's not.
I know. I never said the talent wasn't there.
He beat a Gold Cup winner and a Ryanair winner, so the talent is there. It's just the head's not screwed on.
His jumping is atrocious.
They should have just let him out in front.
He still wouldn't have won. He still would have done the same thing.
Santini, I don't know what happened.
People, please give up on that joke, will you?
I don't like Santini, but I didn't think he's as bad as he showed the other day. But there you go.
I don't think the voice had done him any favors whatsoever. Who else was in it?
The winner and the second fit the trends that happen every year. Plutard he's not a second season novice, but he's trying a new trip.
I think he could improve a lot again.
Indo second season novice. So the trends are there. I would say Album probably didn't perform to his very best, but
I don't think he still would have.
It's hard to do it 3 years in a row. I'd like to see Indo and Plutard go again. If they went against each other at Punchestown, I'd probably back Plutard.
They won't. You won't see Plutard going that way around. I say the next time we'll see him will be either at Leopardstown next year or Cheltenham. There's even talk of, Henry said, I was watching Look on Sunday again this morning, that they might go for the Betfair chase at Haydock with him.
With Abloutard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not
Yeah.
bad.
Could you imagine?
He tends not to
Could you
win.
imagine Indo?
He tends not to win after a break, though.
No. Indo, Abloutard, Monkfish, and Envoy Allen all lined up here next year.
Abloutard will come out next year and he'll lose the first race and he'll be odds on and he should win and then he'll win the next day again.
He's some dude of a horse, lads. Like 16 runs and he's never been outside the first three. Just like, what a horse.
Cheveley Park have some horses go to war with.
Can we just bring up one there called Royal Pagai, who I'm not saying I told you so.
Who wasn't lapped and who caught himself and still finished well.
His form is shit, lads. His form is crap. He hadn't a clue what was going on. He'd never gone that fast in his life. He's beaten 10-year-old 120 rated handicappers last time. I just can't have him. I just can't have him at that grade.
That's very mean, though, wasn't it? I was nice to you one night about horses that. Before this next race comes up now, I was going to be nice, but you know, I'm going to get laid stuck into you now.
He's going to blame the jockey anyway.
Oh, it's not the jockey's fault. It's the horse's shit. He's getting so angry already. I don't have graphics for this because I've only a certain amount. No space.
Yeah.
What were your graphics? It came to pass lost.
No, it came to last.
Again, that race, I presume we're moving on to that, are we?
We're moving on to the Fox Hunters, or that's the Fox Hunters' names have been dropped off.
For me, it would have been different if there was amateurs riding, but yeah, I don't know. I didn't think the jockey.
Get it up on that because I can't. If I do that on that,
what the results?
Who even won it? I can't even remember who won. That's how much interest I had in it.
Portmore Bay or
Porlock Bay won it for Will Biddick, who is a very good amateur rider and has been for a long time in the UK and is now training a lot. And he's
can't get over it.
No, sorry, I read a comment. Who is this idiot on the left? Mr. Know-It-All. Like, you've obviously just joined in now when I'm taking the piss out of the lads about being right about Royal Pagai. But anyway, no, I was...
He's off notice, isn't he? He suddenly had to switching.
I'm getting tired now, to be honest, lads. 10 o'clock, I'm ready for my bed. Porlock Bay was very good. He's done a lot of winning in France and has won a fair chunk of prize money out there. Has won an awful amount, 180 grand out there. Billaway was very good. It just got touched off again and a long way back. Look, it came to pass. The ground to me did not look good soft. It looked on the soft side.
Will you stop now? Excuses already. Ground is perfect. Everything is in his favour.
He wasn't good enough, Tom, and I backed him as well.
Do you think that was good to soft?
That ground was perfect for him. He wasn't good enough.
Perfect jumping ground.
Yeah, no, I don't think that was ideal for him. And look, I'm not, like, he got beaten a long way, but I think he definitely would have been placed for a better ride. I thought he got a shocker, to be honest. He jumped him off last. He made a terrible mistake. He then starts firing him into fences. With a circuit to go, he's gone from last up to fourth. It's just not what you should really do as a jockey. But there we go. You win some, you lose some.
You're holding on to fate for next year?
No, he's too old now, unfortunately. He'd be 12 next year, I think. So
fair enough. I have zero opinion on this race, so you can talk if you want.
Couldn't give a fuck, to be honest.
Dave's like, Tom, never tip one for the Fox Hunters again because I'll end up backing it.
Yeah. What's Martin Pipe?
The next race.
No, the mares.
The next race is the Miss Paddy Powers Mare Chase, won by Coolreevy, Ellie May in second, who was the favourite, and Shattered Love in third.
If I'm ever sick, you can hold the fort.
I don't know how to set up the sound box.
I'll have it all set up for you, don't worry.
I don't know how to. I don't want to sit here crabbing jockeys, but if you're on the outside of a horse that's jumping right, either go in front of it or take a pull and go behind it.
I was going to say I'd say I'd go behind it and then in on the other side of it. that might work because then the other horse will go out there and we won't win the race. That's what I was thinking as well. Anyway, but there you go.
That's what I was thinking as well.
The
then.
boys have been
There we
nice.
go.
Boys have been nice. Mark Walsh gave this an absolute balls of a ride. Absolute balls of a ride.
Cool reviews like one of them
I
great.
didn't even back it now. I had no money on Ellie Mae whatsoever. He gave her an
Yeah,
absolute balls of a
Me
ride.
and Andrew didn't have money on either of the two in this, so. But cool review reminded me of one of them greyhounds that tries to bite the other greyhound when they come out of the race. Never seen them ones. So
Fair play to Colin Reevy though, lads. I think she deserves a little bit of credit there because she did jump out to her right the whole way around, and
Tough,
she put
isn't
her
she?
head down. And
Again, I
so-
think this is the only time I haven't backed her.
yeah, she's very tough.
I've always
I backed
backed
her at Christmas.
Yeah.
Then we lumped on her at Pudgestown one year and she won a bumper.
Yeah, she's a right mare. I do like her.
And Ellie Mae was very hardy as well. The two of them went a proper gallop, and they really took each other on, and they both stayed on really well up the hill.
Ellie Mae is a pony.
She's
done
an
it.
absolute pony, yeah. Just a shout out to the people who own Colreevy because they're from Waterford, which is where we're from. They've a big breeding operation. Well, a select breeding operation, will we say? And they've bred a lot of nice horses. John Kiley has trained a lot of horses for them in Waterford. Yeah, fair play to them. Really good to see them getting a Cheltenham winner.
Yeah.
Last one.
That's what Jesus, all right, boy.
The Martin Pipe then to finish us off.
Go on,
One
Galloping the Champs.
Galloping the Champ.
Legend.
Second was Langer Dan. I'd say there's a few people.
Langer Dan, who?
Not happy
Oh,
with that.
Langer Dan is making headway. Yeah, he's like 20th. Shut up.
Joseph's horse Fleur in third, and What's Up With You, Ben Pauling's horse in fourth.
What's up with you?
None.
What's up with you? Bad joke.
Good winner, I thought. Travel lovely.
This is a very, very good horse. This is the RSA winner. This thing is a monster just waiting to see a fence. Look at that. Look at some of the horses Willie Munn's has won this race with.
Yeah, he won it with Don Slowly.
He has.
Yeah.
Don Slowly. He also won it with Kalulta Vic.
Yes.
Sir Deschamps won this, didn't he?
He
Sir
also
Deschamps
won
won
it with
this.
Sir Deschamps.
Yes.
Yeah.
This is a very good horse. This thing went out in front, and after the second hurdle, this thing is winning. It was traveling so well. It was jumping very good. Everything was easy to him. I don't know who was doing the confident. Mark Johnson or someone must have having his absolute balls on Langer Dan, because the second it moved from 20th into 19th, you think he was going to piss up.
Yeah.
But to me, I think this thing is going to be an absolute monster of a fence. He's the shape of it, he's size, and I think 41 for the RSA is my second anti-post bet for Cheltenham. But on the race, I think he was by far the best horse in it.
I wouldn't put you off him. Yeah, he's a good horse. Travel lovely.
Yeah.
He looked to me. I know Langer Dan travel into the race well, but this thing looked the winner the whole way around.
It's not the worst thing I've ever heard, to be fair. And just a shout out as well to Sean O'Keefe, another lad from down near me. In fairness, he came and rode out a horse for me a couple of times. Really nice lad. He's ridden out his claim now. He deserves a lot of backing. He gets a lot of backing in Wexford. Another lad who came through point to points and is an excellent rider. He's a really good lad, and you know, if he keeps on going into Willies and stuff a couple of days a week, I think he'd be getting some rides out there as well. He's a very good rider. And yeah, who was the one in this? Oh, shout out to Mill Green, who I put up each way, finished 7th. They paid 6th place.
Excuse me.
Typical. And Gentleman.
I'm allergic to bullshit. I heard it. I'm sorry. I heard it in the movie last night. It was brilliant. I laughed so much at it.
The good result in this now. We had the winner and 5th at 66-1.
Gentleman D'Amido got backs off the boards and just went out in front. It was just way too keen.
Oh, he went off like a scarlet cat.
Yeah, don't rule him out of being a nice horse. He was just way too inexperienced, and he just gave himself no chance. So.
Yeah, he went crazy.
Yeah, don't judge him on that. Forget about him for that. Is that it?
That's
I
it.
think so.
That's them all.
But,
I nearly get into this bed. I'm that tired now.
And my hamstrings are on fire from this chair. They're literally ready to snap. Yeah.
Very grand. Before we go, we're going to give one horse from the festival who we would back for next year's festival.
Oh, gosh.
Well, it has to be from the festival.
Well, not for the festival, any horse. The hell with it. You're going Fernie Hollow.
Me? Yeah, Fernie Hollow. Fernie Hollow for the Arkle. I know he's been injured, so I wouldn't be going crazy. However, there's 25s in a place for the Arkle, and there's plenty of 16 to 1. As I say, he's not the ideal type because he's been injured, but I would take a little bit of that.
Fernie Hollow was my horse this year. I'm so sick that he didn't make her because he's obviously unbelievable.
He would have bolted up in the Supreme.
Oh my God, it hurts my soul. I'll go for her. She wears it well. She comes back.
For?
Mayor's Hurdle.
Mine is going to be Galloping the Champ for the RSA at 40 to 1. Yeah, so that's us done.
Can I have another one? No.
Sure.
I'd actually go
without the Tom tipping up 2 horses.
She wears it well for any race because I don't know what race she's going to go for.
Yeah.
I am actually going to go against you there, Dave, and I reckon Tell Me Something Girl, 12 to 1.
Good lad, Tom.
What price is she wears it well?
What's that?
What price is she wears it well?
She wears it well is 20 to 1.
Ah, yeah, that's great.
You got really giddy there.
That's way better.
No. Tell me Something Girl, 12 to 1. I reckon she's got a hell of a chance.
Right. That's us done. Again, lads, thanks for watching. And following us through the whole of our Cheltenham Festival anti-post videos and up to our preview. Some people are asking, are we just stopping now until the jumps? Nope. We are going through every week from now till you're sick of us. So we are going through all the flat season. We'll be back with we're back every Wednesday anyway for our weekend preview, but we have our main Punchestown Festival previews, the Aintree Festival, Ayr. What else is there?
Fiddler on the Roof for the Welsh National.
Fiddler on the Roof. Jeez, we're next Christmas already. We're at Christmas already. We're thinking about the jumps next season. But on the Finish the Line podcast website, I fixed a few bugs in it, so there'll be free betting tips from each of us each day, 1 horse a day. Look, it's just a bit of a crack. We're not going to be keeping on track of anything like point system or shit like that. It's just for who we think is the best bet of today, value each way is whatever way it's going to be. But look, again, lads, thanks for watching and all the support so far. We are back Wednesday with our weekend preview of the Lincoln at Doncaster. Yep, Lincoln at Doncaster, flat season. Yeah,
I have a Dublin appointment Wednesday as well.
Yeah. Are there any point-to-points on coming up? We could maybe tip.
Oh God, I would so preview a point-to-point instead of a flat.
What I'm missing out on, I don't mind the flat because I've been to the Guineas meeting and stuff and the Derby. The weather's nice. You put your nice clothes on. You have a glass of champagne. Happy days.
I don't think my nice clothes fit me anymore.
You can't even do that now. It's just pointless.
Oh, they don't.
Oh, it's that trade.
Mine don't fit me because they're falling off. Should have seen the state of the pair of jeans I wore. They may as well be lounge. They may as well be lounge pants.
He went over to get a jean glass out of the cabinet, and every step the pants kept coming down like that.
They just fell off. There's nothing I can do. Like
my problem's the other way around, Dave.
Yeah. Look. I have a suit that is brand new and I need to get back into it for Cheltenham next year. So this time next year, I'm giving myself a good 10 months.
We bought those suits for Punchestown last year and mine is too big. I'm never going to get to wear it. Like I didn't get to wear it once.
Nice suits and all.
Andrew, here's one for you. For next Wednesday's show, can we go through our anti-post tips and how they finished up from all of the weeks for each of us?
That is going to... Robbie, will you find all them if you're still listening?
Yeah. What the hell with us?
Yeah. You know what to do, Robbie.
I'd like to go through them and see how they got on and stuff. So
yeah, okay, we'll do that. We'll do a
PJ
separate-
Comerford, we will have a full flat season preview at some stage, I'm sure, won't we?
Yeah,
Because we done it last year. We picked 3 horses to follow and all that. Sure, we'll do that again.
you put up Love and somebody else.
Love, Alpine Star, and the enigma that is Mum's Tipple.
Oh, that absolute! How did that win the other day?
Yes, come on, he's going to win again.
I have one horse that I'm really looking forward to seeing on the flat. No one else really. Ternawa.
Oh, that's the Arc winner.
Yeah, I know. I put up on Twitter.
Pretty gorgeous is mine. Joseph's.
I actually done an anti-post bet for Cheltenham next year, and I put Tarnawa in just to bump up the fund.
What you do?
Hold on a second.
I think she's, as Jamie Codd would say, I think this thing is a God-given certainty for the Arc.
I have.
If you like, Love is favourite, but every year, even if we had to, like, Tom was right. Look, I give Tom props when it's due. He said, "Look, she's not going to act on soft ground." And it was true. They avoided the Arc altogether because of the ground. Ternawa will win on good ground. Actually, look, she won it over in the Breeders' Cup. She'll win on soft. She done it at the Arc meeting. I think it's a God-given certainty. All she has to do is turn up in tip-top shape and she'd run around in a circle.
That's the last day we were in the pub, actually.
That was a great day.
But I have Tarnawa for the Arc, 9-1. Shishkin for the Champion Chase. Bob for the Marsh. And Monkfish for the Gold Cup.
Can I put Monkfish as one of my anti-posts for next year? Is I backed him for the Gold Cup before he won the Marsh? Or the Thingamabob?
And I have Fernie Hollow back to 33-1 for the Arkle.
That's not bad. But yeah, we'll do a Cheltenham Festival anti-post review. That's original, isn't it? We will review all our anti-post anti-post bets. Jesus Christ, I'll go through all the videos now.
You have a list of them to some stage, so you'll be fine.
Yeah, I have some of them on the website. I'll send them on to you and let me know if they're right or wrong. So yeah, we'll do that next Wednesday along with the Lincoln from Doncaster, and then the week after we have, we have the Irish Grand National meeting the week after over Easter. So that'll be one to look forward to. And then we're on to Aintree and then Ayr and Punchestown. So we have a busy April ahead of us. So again, guys, thanks for watching. Keep liking and subscribing and keep spreading the word because we're going a bit mental now and it's a good crack. So everyone is happy. We're happy. And I hope you keep enjoying the content. And again, thanks for watching. And we'll see you again on Wednesday for our weekend preview and a look back on all our Cheltenham Festival anti-post tips.